I am the
potato
sword
and
and the stone.
fries.
I am
Very
the
nice
stone that
power
the
kill.
door refused. I am the visual, the inspiration. Makes Lady sing the blues.
Sure, why not?
Judo flip. Judo flip. Flip. He's doing the Boondocks intro.
Oh, judo flip. Flip,
Judo
flip,
flip.
flip.
Judo flip. Dude, that is a real song somewhere, but I can't find the full song.
What, judo flip?
That and the like, you know, the Steak Meaner fight. That part, like where he fights them, like the second time, he fights the whole family. That part, oh my god, that hits so hard.
It is a good song.
I guess the Kieran armor.
What emoji?
Hold on, let me put up this. Let me post the Steak Meaner thing in VIP. That thing
Oh,
hits so hard.
SMH cat, there's no well done steak.
I definitely can't.
But
post
you
that.
requested this art. You know, fair. Oh, well, at least Aurelia looks hot. Probably somewhere between 4 to 6
I don't know.
in that time zone.
Stream doesn't.
Gonna drag on.
Drag on D's nuts.
Got him. I was gonna say Dragoon.
Dragoon.
Oh
Nuts.
yes, I clicked on this button.
Yeah, Dragon
It
Dragoon.
says, oh, it says
Isn't that a
5.
game?
Nuts.
Stream starts at 5:45 a.m. 5 and
Good
10
job.
hours.
Proud of you.
Well done, you
Now
figured
know
it
where
out.
you live.
Maybe I wake up early to watch it.
Y'all should
I mean,
check out your boy To Love Trouble at that time.
I'll be on my way to work.
An hour before I wake up.
Make sure you
Oh my god, I hope not. What the?
I have.
What's that? Trub's doing a 24-hour stream?
Oh.
Good.
Hell no, I'm too old and poor for that.
You'd be like that one YouTube dude who tried staying awake for like 13 days, but YouTube like banned him or something during it for self-hurting or something, self-harm.
Yeah. I mean,
on
that
Twitter.
pretty much is. Causing yourself brain damage.
Well, I mean, he was already brain damaged to think of it, so not much else.
No, there's at least one brain cell left.
Maybe he was.
It's a shame we can never see it.
It's
At
not a
W.
toggle.
Like a true Jersey, man.
What is that chin?
And can't even get the source image, pulls a GIF.
What do you mean, where's that chin?
That's
That's classic animation right there. What do you mean?
Yugi boy.
yeah.
Yugi boy.
Joey Wheel Mouse.
A time wizard.
He'll be a content creator.
He is.
Ash, that requires
Intravenously?
content to be there.
Ah, yep.
Ew.
Ooh. What a ooh.
I'm surrounded by assholes.
That sucks.
Yo.
Oh.
Oh, that's such a good meme.
Oh god, I love
Love that movie.
Spaceballs, dude. Isn't there rumors of them making a second Spaceballs?
Yes.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh.
I don't care. I'm gonna go watch that in theaters like 5 times over. Oh, matinees are the best time to watch.
Keep it secret.
Plug it in, plug it in.
Oh, it's being
Oh.
produced by Amazon.
Golden Exodia.
It's too late.
GG, pack it up, boys. It's time to go home.
Writing duo Sam and Ernest are best known for their work as screenwriters for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, Pokemon Detective Pikachu, Adam's Family 2, and the upcoming Disney Plus film Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy.
Are they actually making it?
Yeah, I was reading about that one today.
I'm here. Oh, hold on, chat. Sorry, I was tightening my my screws. El gato, show me le signal. All right, there we go. Give me 1 second, chat. Let me reboot my whatchamacallit. In the meantime, I did get the tweet out. Do me the favor, go give it some love. And I am going to go grab today's sauce. Wherever I got the sauce from. There it is. Hello, Sabas. Yeah, I just got to make sure that it's actually like working here. Are you using a back pain waist harness? No. My back pain's actually pretty good. Like I don't really seem to have any back pain anymore. I do like if I twist like to my extremities, right? Or like if I have to really bend over. It's like putting on my socks in the morning still kind of hurts, but normal like day-to-day like going on, I'm perfectly fine. Interestingly enough, though, I did wake up today with neck pain because maybe this is just the price of getting older. I don't know, but it was. I suspect it's actually because, like, since I've been having back pain, I've been kind of like like keeping my spine out of alignment because it's the only way to not feel pain. And I wonder if like in doing so, that's how I basically like messed with my neck. But anyways, okay, looks like the bot has rebooted. Let me do one more thing up in here. Up in here. All right, there we go. Should be good. Let me get this party started. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Let me get rid of my salute there. I hope everyone's doing good. Today is an interesting day for a couple of reasons. So for starters, NA obviously still has a lot going on for it. We definitely have some nice stuff. Oh, let me get you guys today's sauce. Here it is. Go give the artist some love as usual. And again, I hope everybody is doing good today. We do have, you know, some interesting stuff going on in the sense that we finally got an actual like mod for the where was it? What did I do with it? There it is. We finally got an actual mod for the curse name, right? So in the process of that, now you guys can actually play Fate Stay Night. I know it's been awful because like the name is cursed and it is what it is. But it honestly, this didn't come as fast as I thought it would, but I assume in all cases that like something like this takes more time than anyone really realizes. We think it's just a simple script, but the reality is it probably takes someone realizing the need for a simple script than actually sitting down and thinking about how to do it and kind of making it actually happen and then hosting it on Steam. So you mean it's now playable? It's now playable. Can't believe we needed a mod to fix a spelling mistake. Well, I did briefly want to talk about this. I have seen a lot of people throwing around what I'm going to call misinformation. Now, I don't really want to like throw people under the bus here, but essentially I think the reason a lot of people are believing a certain aspect. So let's go ahead and talk about what it is that I'm talking about. So basically, you know, I've had people ask me like, why is it the forbidden name as opposed to like, you know, Artoria? Why do they go with that stupid name? And we don't really know. And we can kind of guesstimate, but I will say that there is like this fan theory that it has to do with merchandising. We can almost completely disprove that. We know that the name existed prior to that and was used profusely prior to that. It's not a merchandising issue. And I think the only reason people believe it is because it's a theory that got floated by somebody on Beast Slayer. And they're people that within the Type Moon like community have been translating things for years. But no, it's almost completely disprovable. We know that that's not the case. So I don't know why people actually still keep like spouting off and assuming that is the issue. That merch theory is completely BS. It really is. Because the merch in question didn't even come out until 2016, and the name was already very well in circulation well prior to that, and Nasu was already like trying to correct it. So it is what it is, right? I don't like it. You guys don't like it, but it's people basically trying to come up with this weird theory to like cover for Nasu at that point. And I really don't think it is. Otherwise, it wouldn't be spelled the way it is in the first place, right? I thought Nasu was open about the fact that he thinks the L sound is more feminine than the R. That might be the case. I actually don't know. I've never seen if he has said something like that, but I'm also not going to claim that I've ever seen everything that Nasu has like ever written, right? Like obviously he has his blog and he's talked in numerous interviews over the decades now that he's had his IP. So naturally, yeah, there may be something that he said one time that like absolutely has snuck by me. But no, I'll just say it is what it is, right? Like, I have my own beef with the name, and I have seen quite a few people react to this. If you guys did notice, this tweet did kind of pop off a little bit. So much so that I actually got it stolen by a couple of other people, but it is what it is, okay? Now, the interesting thing about it that like I really was noticing there's a lot of people trying to do the like, oh, well, you need to respect the creator's wishes because that's what we want like localizers and stuff to do. No, absolutely not. Chat. Listen, I understand that the creator is the person that created it and it's their baby. But there's a difference between, hey, this is how I intended it, and also now I'm translating it into your language and I'm overruling the conventions of how that translation should occur. Okay? I'm not saying that you can't localize something. You can. I do think in general, the idea is always to stay as close to the original as possible. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. That is what the fan translators have been doing for years with Artoria's name. They've been trying to stick as close to the original as possible, as close to the actual origin of the name, and as close to the way that Nasu ends up spelling it in Japanese. It's only when we've now had the official translation bringing it over here that we've had any real issue with it. And it's because etymologically, it just becomes completely a different name, a name that doesn't really have any basis. When we start comparing, and I basically broke it down in this thing because somebody actually asked me. And look, Garden of Avalon, and this is kind of what I said here, is that it gives us 3 different names. We have Artoria, which, you know, obviously Nasu uses the other name as the given birth name. Artorius, which is the traditional Latin name from Roman history that was used while she was being raised alongside Circe, trying to hide her identity. And then we also have Arthur, which is the name that she was known as once she was king. That's the name that Merlin bestowed upon her. So when we start looking at Arthur, and Arthur being the English form really of Artorius, this is a little bit more okay because it's changed languages, right? Similarly, when we look at Artorius and we compare it to Artoria or Altria, obviously Artoria is way closer to the original at that point. So much so that this actually kind of changes up a lot of it. Even if we were to change Artorius into like a more feminine form, you'd literally see that all we had to do was change the last 2 letters to reach Artoria, versus this, we had to change so much. We had to remove plenty of the vowels and basically end up changing one of the actual hard consonants outright. So I understand. I'm not going to say that it's not close. It is close. It's just not that close. And to me, the difference between something like this, like Artorius and Arthur, is we went from one language into another language. With Altria, we went from basically one language into Japanese and then brought it back into that other language as a completely different like translation. So we didn't preserve the original form of it. This is why like I've seen people over the years, instead of calling her like Artoria, which is the most commonly accepted, we have various other forms like Artoria with a U. And we also have Arthuria. I'm okay with all of these. I really have no issue with this. All of these are fine. They're very much a preference, and there is no real issue because they're all based in the same sort of like, hey, I want to be true to the original type of mentality. This is a-okay. This bastardized name, this is nothing. This is nowhere close. So that's why people have so much issue with it. If Nasu could have chosen any one of these 3 names and everyone would have been fine with it. There would have been a couple of nitpickers that would have been like, oh, I don't know about that. It would never have blown up in the way that it has at this point in time. So that's why we have it. It's basically just a huge issue where Nasu himself insists that it should be translated in a different way, despite having no mastery of the English language. And that is kind of my big issue with it. That way because of the pain and suffering she put you through? No, I would never. Like I said, the whole reason it's set us that way in the And the bot is purely as a joke, and it's one of the mods that set that up. Arthuria sounds pretty funny. I'm still okay with it though. Like, I don't really have any issue with any of those three. Listen, chat, the bot will hear you. The bot will. So it is what it is. But I don't know, right? Like, it's not my place really to get upset. And like, I understood this person was like, hey, I'm just being nice, right? So, but I have seen several people in the like the quotes and stuff, they've been like, oh, well, like, yeah, you need to respect Nasu's wishes. No, we don't. Nasu's not respecting his fans. That's what it really is, chat. This is so, and I'm gonna give you guys another example of this. And I don't really want to like get into the whole like political argument of it, right? But so the other author that I've seen do this sort of stuff, okay? J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter. People love Harry Potter. I'm not going to get into some of the comments she's made online that like people have problems with. Just looking at some of the stupid stuff that she said, though, where she's tried to like go back and just to get under the skin of her fans, she has tried to like change the nationalities and like genders of certain characters in the series. That's in a classic example of why, like, yeah, no, you have to at least have a point where like you don't respect the author's wishes because the author's just being either a troll or being a stubborn idiot. And it's better than whatever change they're trying to make, right? I think it goes both ways. I think there is context, and we definitely can see where, like, yeah, something is wrong or something is problematic. I'm not a fan of changing the original when in doubt. But I will say when almost the entire community completely up and disagrees with the original author, yeah, that's maybe a sign that we should be listening more to the community at that point. It's a difference between like, oh, hey, you just got a bunch of really loud vocal people. And like, again, chat, this is one of my best performing tweets of all time. I'm not making this sound like I did something amazing here. I'm pointing out this is how many people actually are happy and ecstatic to see this shitty name go away. This is how few people actually want to deal with that original name that keeps getting pushed around by Nasu because nobody likes it. So at that point, I don't know why Nasu doesn't just go like, you know what, you're right. You're right. But I got to be honest, I don't really think he converses really ever with English-speaking fans, nor do I think he has any knowledge really whatsoever of how we think about it. In all seriousness, I'm willing to bet that like the Aniplex of America crew that run like FGO and stuff don't really have any say in this, and it's not their fault. But also at the same time, they probably never relay it back for fear of their job. So like nobody's going to tell Nasu he's wrong because they're all worried they're going to get fired if they do. And I do think that's kind of where this stuff happens. It's the same way where if you guys, to give you guys another example, if you guys look at Star Wars over the years, like with the original trilogy, you basically had, a really like robust, like directorial setup where you had George Lucas, but he had a bunch of people around him that helped him to make sure that the original trilogy was really well told. And it still has its issues, particularly by the third movie. Then we get to the prequel trilogy. And look, I got to be honest. I think the prequel trilogy is honestly A-okay at this point in time, especially compared to the like travesty that is the sequel trilogy. But with the prequel trilogy, when it first comes out, there was definitely a lot of criticism, a lot of critique, because a lot of people were comparing it to the original trilogy. And the major difference there that we can look at and see is, and I in all seriousness, just my own personal thoughts on this, the only way in which the prequel trilogy really suffers is in its writing. It's not its characterization. It's not like the themes and the overarching story. It's simply how the story gets done. That's the issue. So putting that aside, the criticism that everybody saw, though, with the prequel trilogy is that George Lucas, at that point, had become like a god. Everyone revered him, and everyone was afraid to tell him he was being an idiot. So that's kind of what we get now as a result. We do get a prequel trilogy that maybe could have been more robust in certain ways. It's still good. It's still fun. People appreciate it years later, but it definitely has its flaws because basically everybody put George Lucas on a pedestal and assumed he could do no wrong. And those that were there didn't want to tell him otherwise because he was the big dog and they didn't have the clout to be able to talk back to him. They knew they were going to lose their job, and so they were all just a bunch of yes men. So it's the same thing that we kind of see here, where it's like, yeah, nobody's going to tell Nasu that he's just wrong on this subject, because nobody wants to lose their job, especially if they revere Nasu in any way, shape, or form and really like, you know, Type Moon and the IP in general. That's kind of why it is. Just because they fucked up the romanization of the name. Listen, if it were a simple mistake, Char, we'd have already had a fix a long time ago. This isn't a simple mistake. Somebody's being stubborn. That's the truth of the matter, okay? Because I've certainly screamed it. Plenty of other people have screamed it. Chat, it's so much so that the Japanese people know about it. How do I know? Because some Japanese artists localize it the correct way, and I've also talked to other Japanese artists about it, and they're well aware of the issue. So it is what it is, right? Like, people know it's not a simple mistake. God, what about the droid attacks and the Wookiees? Yes. The VA of Saba actually says Artrea. It's really funny because whenever she talks in English, she tries to like say that version of the name, but the second she's off script, she goes right back to saying Artoria. And I fucking love it. I fucking love it. Part of it's because like it's just years of her like having to say that name. You can't make someone change that habit. It's very difficult. It's extremely difficult. And I can give you guys another example. I once had basically a streamer that I had already known for years that changed their name and got really belligerent and insistent on me referring to them as the new name. I wasn't doing it to piss them off, but I had a very difficult time ever calling them by the new name. Why? Because I'd known them by that name for years. It's the same thing that we have right here. We have a name that people have known for years, and now and look, I'm not going to say that we're suddenly trying to change it, but I will say that now we're really trying to push it. We're finally localizing stuff after years of not localizing it, and that's why we end up in this way. We didn't actually have this issue before now, because so much of Type Moon's media had to be fan translated. So it's only now that we're actually getting official translation that we're now actually ending up with this problem. Yeah, Kawasumi. If only they had kicked up a big fuss about the cursed Arturia spelling when complaining about coins, then we could have had it fixed by now, probably. Nope. I don't think they'd fix it. I'm dead serious, because I think this is a top-down decision. All signs point to it. Hold on, I've been confused by this. Is Arturia like a gender-bent version of King Arthur? Yes. But Mystics versus Mystery. That translation drives me nuts because of how awkward it sounds. Using mystic as a noun instead of as an adjective. You can use it as a noun. That's not an issue. Like, actually, let me double check just to make sure I'm not crazy myself. Yeah. Chat. Okay. I didn't manipulate this in any way, shape, or form. The second I type in mystic, the very first thing is noun rather than adjective. Okay? So, it's not wrong. Like, but I can understand why someone thinks that way and finds it weird. I'm just going to say, like, part of that comes from, and hear me out on this, that, like, you have basically 3 different ages in Type Moon lore, where you have the age of the gods, you have the age of the mystics, and then you have the age of man. Okay? And these are 3 different ages. And interestingly enough, what Arturia is, she is the bridge between these 2 ages. That's why Artoria is so important in Nasu verse lore. Or at least is supposed to be, but Nasu seemingly forgets all of that lately, so it is what it is. It's a joke that Asians can't pronounce R's as well, so he says... Yeah, I mean, I've seen people say this, but chat, if Asians can't pronounce an R, and thus this is changed to an L, why do we still have an R? I'm just saying. Like, to me, that's not really a valid defense, right? I do understand that, like people have said, it's like, oh, well, yes, if you were to translate this from the actual kanji there, this is exactly how it would look. No, and here's why. Chat, we still removed the O for no fucking reason. Artorius both have it, okay? So it is what it is. And if they're trying to make it like Arthur, this is nothing like Arthur at all. They fucked up the romanization all the time in CCC where they wrote Gilgamesh and Meltlilith. I mean, Meltlilith kind of I could see being a thing. Gilgamesh, no. I mean, Gilgamesh is just weird. If anything, you say Gilgamesh. Apparently, there's some new thing under gallery in the remaster library that's supposed to have other tidbits of info. Oh, interesting. I'll have to check that out. To alter, yeah, and that's the other weird thing, right? Like, we don't have any other change to any other word. That one theory proposed that that's why Medusa was originally spelled incorrectly, and I'm like, no. I mean, like, I'll say this: the theory may be correct that originally how Nasu translated those names to English was fucking Google Translate, but outside of that, no, I don't really think so. Also, let me double check something here. Yeah, that one doesn't add up. Google Translate wasn't around before 2006. So it can't even be a Google Translate. He had to actually get somebody to freaking translate it for him. So should we call Alt Rouge Arta Rouge instead? No. Chat, use your brains, right? Like, to me, and I'll be honest, I don't know too much about Alt Rouge, okay? But I'm going to say that, like, that one probably sounds like it's meant to be, like, alt as in alter or something, right? I don't know. I may be wrong on that. But the whole point that I'm trying to make here is that, yeah, no, there's no fucking L here. There can't be. It doesn't make any sense for there to be. Is it Aerith or Eris? Aerith. TH. For it being Stone Age, from what I've seen and having asked other translators that are quite proficient in Japanese. Yeah, I mean, I could see that, right? Like, it is what it is. I don't really care. I think most of the people that try to defend this name are people that came in late to like the Fate series and they originally saw this name. And that's it. Or they're trolls. I don't really see anybody else defend this name. If it made any amount of sense, we wouldn't be in this mess. Yeah, I agree. The community just refused to use it. Yeah, and to be fair, the community shouldn't have to, right? Chat, I want to make this clear in another way, okay? This is the equivalent of being like, hey, like, my name is Teddy, and instead we've changed the name to Tommy. That is the equivalent of like what's going on here. naturally people are going to be like, no. Like, you've totally changed it now. It's not the same fucking name. So it just is what it is, right? And yeah, I do agree with that, Tazra. If we had had a localization much earlier, though, to be fair, I'm going to say this. If we had had a localization much earlier, we'd all be stuck with this name. I think it would have been the accepted, and we'd have been fighting this battle for a lot longer. Here without a cape? Yeah. Tom and Tom too. Yep. Nobunaga to Nobundaga. Cowabunga. Cursed name sounds like a nickname for Artoria Alter. Yes. And that's, like I said, I think it's a really stupid thing. Like, we don't have to keep dwelling on it, but like, it just, yeah, I'm happy we have a fix for it. Now I don't have to read the stupid name. And now at least people will have the option, right? I think this is always an important thing. I think a lot of people don't really like it. All right, chat, first up here, we have a new 120. And behold, my 120 is not Bond 15. So she is Dunzo. I do have 3 appends on her. She is the cursed NP6 that I did roll. Did roll for. I have not lored the skills. I know someone's going to scream at me for that, but it is what it is. Those 2 skills are probably really not worth the lore, but if someone in chat really screams at me, I might just do it anyways. It just is what it is. But yeah, I've now moved on. We are now working on the next 120, which you can also see here. However, I will not be able to finish MHX until I manage to get this last little bit of bond. So we are bonding her, at least as efficiently as I reasonably can. You know, in that regard, I should probably be using a 4-star instead of using her. So get in there, Sumanai Light. Yeah. That way we get even more bond. The true funny is when Lasingle used Artoria instead of the cursed name. I mean, I still think it's hilarious because we have had products over the years that straight up have used it. And it's only been like when Type Moon caught it that it finally had to get like changed. And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, people don't want to use it. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, you're not like... The sad part is with newer and newer generations, we do keep getting more and more people that I guess learn to accept the name. But also, we do have enough of the community now talking about it that we just like, yeah, everybody kind of just goes like, nope, not a thing. And it's also, I hate to say it, chat, it's one of the easiest ways to spot a new person in the community. People that insist on that name, I'm like, you're one of those, right? Like, and I'm not going to say that it's like something that we need to discriminate against or anything like that, but I do believe that like it's a very easy way to spot that someone is fresh, right? Official dubs and dub for Fate Zero, even Dean had Artoria. Oh, I know. And I wonder if like some of that was just out of their control, because, you know, this has been a subject matter for a while now, is that like, oh, hey, like these actual like Japanese creators and stuff don't have like control over their dubs. Like they have no oversight. They have no idea what's getting translated and how. And honestly, like, I feel bad for them to that extent, because like, especially nowadays, we have people that are in there trying to like do subversive shit with it, and I hate that. Like, I think battling over a single name is one thing. Totally changing the context and the meaning of a work is wild to me. That sort of shit should be like illegal to an extent. I got the finger wag from the bot for saying the cursed name. I was so confused as to how it was offensive. It's not really offensive, right? And that's why I said, like, I don't want anyone to feel like if you're getting timed out by the bot that it's like, I hate you or anything like that. The bot, it really just is a gag at this point, and that's why we leave it. I laugh when AI takes over the subversive translators' jobs. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of AI in that regard, right? But, like, I'll say this. If AI can do a better job than you as a translator because you're not doing your job as a translator, we have issues, right? Like, at that point, yeah, maybe we should be using the AI over you. Like, I'm always in favor of using a person rather than an AI in any circumstance. Unless that person is themselves, like, actually more destructive than the AI is. They don't get input from the source. Yeah. I feel like Summer Korean Sky is a high possibility because of Dobrynia in this summer. See, and my only counter to that, and I'm not going to say you're wrong, right? Because I do think you could see a Summer Korean Sky. But my only counter to that is that we didn't get Taigong Wang as the male this year. So maybe he gets like another banner here as like a second male banner, and that could be a thing. But it is somewhat odd that they seemingly didn't go with him on that. Translator the problem, or is it just Nasu? It's not a translator issue, it's Nasu. And the reason we can assume that is because the translators have changed over the years, right? Like, we certainly have different ones, and it's not like, oh, hey, it's like it's just this one dude that's whispering in Nasu's ear, right? And we kind of have seen this because there have been times that it has come out as Arturia that Tight Moon has gone and said, no, you will correct that, right? Keep Taigong away from my Koyan Madge. Your Koyan. I'm sorry. Good sir. I believe you mean our Koyan. Plus, we don't know who the Saberface for summer is. I hope we have a Saberface for summer. That's why I've told you guys, like, so tomorrow morning, and just big PSA for everybody, okay? We have, tomorrow morning, we literally have our summer live stream. Mr. Two Love Trouble will be covering that. It should go live my time at like 5:45 a.m. So that is like 10 hours from now, a little bit less. And basically he'll be covering it. We'll get the reveals. Even if they don't announce what the second banner is, we should get the PV, the promotional video. And at that point, we'll probably know who the second banner is, because the units usually appear. Yeah, we'll also know the welfare. So, like, I assume we're going to have a lot more info on that. Obviously, I'm going to hope that there's a Saberface, but it's why, like I said, I'm not going to commit to any sort of role plans until I have the knowledge of what's happening and why. I find Seal to be an interesting character, but, and I'm going to remind chat of this, I have not read Tsukihime. So while I am aware of at least a TLDR of Tsukihime and some of its more interesting points, I have not actually sat down and read it, so I don't have this like big attachment to Seal. And because of that, yeah, it's like, it's not a guaranteed role. I definitely need to take a look at the kit. I definitely need to see. Honestly, right now, the biggest attraction to that banner for me is Dobrynia. That Dobrynia bikini be damn. Read it? That's fine. It'll get read sometime after Fate's Day night. Any good quick craft essence for farming besides Traces of Christmas? There are a couple, but the problem with a lot of them is that they usually end up being split stats. So the reason I don't recommend them usually just has to do with that. It's because they don't actually like merit you leveling them up that I don't bother to recommend them. Yeah, you'll see a lot of people, they'll say like Holy Night Supper and stuff like that. There's definitely what is it? The one Valentine's one, the comma one in the onesie. It's like chocolate love or something like that. There's also, is it like sweet cherry or something like that? I'm trying to remember. And then just naturally Knights of Marines is like the OG. Cherry Icicle, is that it? I think Cherry Icicle split stats though. Yeah, it is. Cherry Icicle is what should be the quick version of cranking. You guys can see battle at 50%, NP damage by 15, and quick up by 8. The problem? Split stats. Yeah, it's not ideal. So that's kind of the issue that we run into. There are like 2 total that are good and most are gotcha. Yeah, that's kind of the issue. And chat, I have to say it. I think we have a quick problem now at this point. Like, not that we haven't, okay? I really want to be clear. It's not that we haven't had a quick problem, but we're now reaching a point where like we do need to start talking about it, because we literally just got done with 14 strengthenings. The devs only buffed 2 units, both of which were 3 stars for quick. And we have seen hide nor hair of like any sort of helping out of quick 2 years after the big changes that they made to the card type, and with like mighty chains and again the lead card bonus. So since then there has really been nothing. We have had Summer Shisho come into the game here with the summer that we just had on NA, and it's been 2 years of nothing on JP. All we have had is the addition of some new quick units, but nothing really in the way of like helping out the meta, nothing really in the way of low star options, nothing that's really designed to like help quick function in sort of the 90 plus type of nodes. Who do you want for Summer Banner 2? Oh, am I getting to pick? Chad, do I get to pick? Yes? No? Okay. So, let's go with my top 3 here. We're gonna go with Lalter, right? We're gonna go with MHXA Summer, and then we're also gonna go with let's go with Lakshmi. That's right. You get triple saber face second banner. That's what happens when you let me pick, chat. Now, if you told me I can't pick Saberface, because I know someone's literally typing this out right now. Let's go with Sanzang, Drake, and who do I want my third to be? I already said it, yeah. Yeah, you know what? Let's go How. I like that. Let's do Yang Summer. I'm A-okay with that. Is the fix the Artoria mod? It is, Alba. We just got done talking about it. Hope for Drake, SSR, Echan, and Medea, SR. I think there's a lot of stuff. I'm just going to tell everyone, chat, don't get your hopes up. Like, I'm at this point, I'm just assuming I get nothing I want on Banner 2. Because like, I don't know. This is like chat's gonna say, "Oh, he's being doomer," right? But like, I'm just jaded at this point. I just assume that like the stuff that I want is not going to appear, which is wild for like the Saberface fan to be in that position. Those picks are bountiful and cover great tracts of land. Aye, vast tracts of land. Doomer stonks rising. Yeah, it's not Doomer. Like, I don't think the game's gonna end or anything like that. I'm not trying to get people to stop playing or anything like that. I'm just pointing out that, like, I don't really have the faith in the devs to actually do it. Avalon punching air right now. Why? Because I picked. Wait, are you saying he's punching air in a good way or a bad way? Because like we all know who his one pick would be. It would be Chiome. But I assume he'd be happy with my Yang option there. Lolter fans have lost hope ages ago. I'm aware. Give me the duo servant of Medea and Kuzuki. That's a great idea. Let's do a duo servant of Lartoria and Lalter. You can't have that. I know it would break the game. The game would not be able to contain it. And then, like, the MP is them just, like, pressing together. And, like, oh, no, here's a better idea. They press together, they hold hands, and they spin. And it becomes like a drill attack. Yeah, they could both look at you with disgust if that's what you wanted. I love the way you think. Thank you. So Summer Bryn. Yeah, kind of like that. Except instead of slashing through, they actually just like drill attack you. Gigarongo Breaker? Exactly. It'll be the drill that'll pierce your heavens, chat. Lartoria had her chance to shine solo. Did she, though? Did she actually? Like, don't get me wrong. Lalter absolutely needs some love. I'm not arguing against that. I'm just not going to say that Lartoria really had a chance to shine ever. What up, Fearless? Hello, Katana. The main villain of London. I wouldn't even say main, right? Like, technically more than Lalter anyways. Listen, that's not saying a lot, right? She did have Camelot? Did she? Did she have Camelot, chat? Or is chat forgetting a very important detail there? London is something indeed. What up, CZ? I hope they do something with Lalter. I really do too. She's got like very interesting lore that I would love to see it explain. London just had too many servants show up, do nothing, and then leave at the end. I straight up feel like London was just a bunch of hints towards the future is all it really was. Is anyone's Chaldea app server under maintenance too? I have not checked. Let me see. Doesn't appear to be for me. But to be fair, oh, data service usage quota. Okay, so we've got some sort of yeah. No, I mean it looks like it's working still. Doesn't Lalter have a connection to the Wild Hunt? Yeah. So does Arthur too, technically. Like Lalter's connection is basically because she's Arthur. Can't upload my data. I'd just say give it a rest for a little bit and see. You may also need to like just actually like update. You can do a manual backup file though. If only we ever found out what Wild Hunt is. Well, Drake's also supposed to have a connection. And that may be why we're not getting like any information on either of them. They may be saving that for later. Like in all seriousness. Chat, I know that like people are gonna doom a lot of what Nasu said in the Famitsu article. Like I said, I still plan on summarizing it for you guys and sitting down and giving you guys a big talk about it, probably next week sometime. Because even once I get this return done tomorrow, I'm probably still gonna need some time to sort some stuff out. But yeah, like I don't know. People are gonna do what Nasu said, but I really do believe that like that's just Nasu saying it's up in the air, and also at the same time, it's him not telling you what's gonna happen next because why would he spoil that, right? So I do believe it's just a lot of people getting like negative on that statement. I don't think he actually has no idea of what's happening next. I think there is already a plan. I think he already kind of has his ducks in a row. And if there is any issues, it's probably just with actually being able to execute it, not with, you know, like what the plan is per se. Has anyone ever had issues with data security with Chaldea app? I've been hesitant to upload my data. I've never had any. I know several people that have been using it, some of which have been using it even longer than I have, and they've never had issues. But yeah, I mean, if you ever feel that way, just don't upload it to the server and just do manual backups. Nasu always knows. Yeah, I mean, I would always assume that Nasu knows, and he's just not letting on, right? Yeah, let me switch over to JP here. Assuming the capture card wants to play nice. Okay, there it is. Now, today is the functionally last day of being able to grind on JP. So we basically have like tonight and then the remainder until the live stream tomorrow. So like you guys don't have long. I don't know. Do we have maintenance tonight on JP? Does anyone know? I haven't seen if there's an announcement yet or not. Called himself the lying man. Oh, he probably knows how often he has to lie, and he probably doesn't like it himself. Brought me out of Zerker Monument Hell. I'm done with him now, finally. You thought. Only 3 hours left of AP if it doesn't go into tomorrow. Yeah. There's always a maintenance? Okay. Yeah, I assumed there was. I just wasn't sure. It's an actual legend? Oh, no. I mean, I'm gonna... Sorry, I wanted to look something up. And I wanted to be sure. But it is what it is. I'm not going to say anything more on that. I'm one big quartz pack away from hitting pity for my NP2 Arish. I mean, how they get you, right? Oh shit. Well, I didn't mean to do that, but do I have the damage and the firepower to do this? I should. We should have a welfare, another SSR, and probably 2 SRs. So there should be 4 more servants that need to be revealed. One of which, like we said, will be the welfare. So the welfare is usually, but not always, usually a 5-star limited female, right? Converted into a 4-star welfare. That is usually the trend. I think the only year that was not the case was Summer 5, where we got Consort U. And the Valkyries, yeah, Summer 7. So those are the only 2 exceptions. And knock? Yeah, that one's a spicy one because she's she's a truly new unit. But I would say if you didn't want to say that she wasn't a new unit, you could basically say that it was Mabe. Oh, whoops, sorry. Spelled that wrong. Medb. Right? That it was basically Mabe, and that she was the one that like basically ends up being the 5-star there. But that's I'll grant you that one's a little bit spicy, right? So yeah, I mean, I guess at that point they've been a little bit spicier here over the years. So let's see what happens, right? There's no telling at this point. Maybe it was already in Summer 3. Yes. I mean, like as a summer unit, right? I'm just saying, like, I don't really know how to treat that one because that one is its own unique thing. Last year I couldn't play Summer and Christmas. Oof. Well, hopefully now you get to make up for lost time. And that is why I think that we should always have, again, that sort of rerun. I know certain people don't care for reruns, but to me, we should be at least getting the one rerun. I don't care about having a separate main interlude. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, here's how event structure should flow. We should get the initial event 1 year later. We should get a rerun. And after the rerun, it should simply go into the main interlude shop right away. No, wait. That's simple. Don't do a third campaign for a main interlude. Just put it in the shop right away. It's that easy. After the year's worth of wait, the FOMO's gone. Don't make anyone do it a third time if they don't want to. That's simple. Narc already has a summer trait. Yeah, it's definitely odd. Like, I do wonder, are we going to see yet another, totally off the wall new unit? I'm going to say that, and this is not a knock against Seal. This is not a knock against, Summer Morgan or Proto Merlin or any of the ways that they've handled, like Summer Arish or anything like that, right? But I don't like the anniversary unit being a summer unit, nor do I like a new unit being a summer unit. I think that while I have no issues with the units that have happened with so far, that it's ultimately kind of screwing the players in a couple of ways. One, if you're an Annie servant, you end up basically getting less actual summer forms. And two, if you're a new unit, this sort of deprives us of ever having a proper new form. And thus, we end up going like, well, hold on, now they've already been a summer unit, so we can't get a summer version of them. Simultaneously, because they're also new, we also just don't get as many summer forms, basically. So that's why I'm just not a fan of it. I would rather we have two wholly separate units rather than them trying to combine them like that. Though I understand that is what they're attempting to do. They are trying to kill two birds with one stone. I just disagree with it. Seal should have been a separate event. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we should just have normal Seal, and then, like, you know, a year or two later, she can become a summer unit. I do think that's probably the better idea. Summer arc welfare incoming. I mean, I've said it before that I would not at all be surprised to see a summer arcuid. I could easily see it being here. It'd be really interesting if she's the welfare. I mean, like, it might explain her banner absence, but it probably still wouldn't. The thing is, they would probably just go ahead and dump on us an arcuid banner, like, after summer, and that would be truly evil, right? Like, all of a sudden you go like, hey, I've got like Seal, right? And then, oh, I get arcuid as summer welfare. And then after that, we go, hey, here's actual arcuid. And now you got to spend more money because you drained everything like here and you got that for free. So now if you want actual arcuid, despite missing her before, you got to actually pull out the wallet. So I could see them doing some crap like that. That's also why I've thought that you're probably going to see the 30 million DL campaign after summer, and that it's probably including arcuid basically as a means to you know, for the exact same reason, right? Like, oh, hey, yeah, oh man, that summer was great. I'm so glad that you guys spent all that money on summer. Here's an arcuid banner, even though she's been gone for 2 years. Like, I could easily see them doing that. Gotcha, gotcha. Yep. On Karen being the welfare. I mean, maybe that'd be an interesting one. I don't really see it, but I guess, right? I would certainly not be as hype about that as a welfare choice. Though I've said this before, I'll say it again. They're not out to please me. They're out to please the entirety of the community. And really, they're not even out to do that. They're just out to please Nasu, because it does appear, and they've said this before, chat, that what they do is they actually go out and they select a summer like lineup, then they write the event for that group. So like, I don't know, right? Like that they probably just are like, they're only doing units that they want to do. And that's why you like that's why it took so long to get Erish, which I still think is BS, but it is what it is. Would it be nice to get more coins to target that fifth pin for Arcuid too? Sure, yeah, totally, right? It'd be cool to have a proper Hollow Ataraxia event, which is really funny because they have actually talked about the fact that both Summer 3 and I think it was the Valentine's event that Karen came out, and both those events were influenced by Hollow Ataraxia's like day-night cycle and functions. Oh my god, fingers, please. Mail servant's literally impossible to mount. What if he got a Summer Basat? I would love it. I think it'd be great, and I think she really does lend herself to it because Isn't Mananan MacLear the sea god? Yep, son of the sea. Mananan MacLear. I can't wait for the new Highlander movie, chat. Sorry, it's not a movie. It's a show. Mananananananana. It's such a fun word. Mananananana feels Batman. He'd also push her into a swimsuit. Yep. Her art on Fist of Hail is quite nice. It really is. Like, I would love to see a Bazette Summer. She's definitely high up there on my list of like, hey, that's a unit I would wail for. Death to the McClouds. TV animathon. Wait. Animathon or animation? Animation? Wait, but I could have sworn there was a new, like... No, hold on. I'm pretty sure there is a new Highlander show. Yeah, Chad Stahelski is doing it, I believe. Who's the John Wick director? Yeah, it stars Henry Cavill. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, this is actually a thing, which means that it's probably going to be terrible, right? But, like, I hope that it's not. I hope that it's not, right? I hope that it, like, actually just has, like, god tier fighting, and none of us care about the plot because the god tier fighting exists. It's just gonna be like kind of like the same thing as like John Wick, you killed my dog, but instead of it's you killed my dog, it's like you killed the other me. Now I'm gonna take my revenge. I was rather attached to that other version of me. If it doesn't have Kurgan devouring the scenery as the villain, I'm not interested. Wait, don't you mean if it doesn't have Sean Connery starring as a Spanish Egyptian man? That's also part Jedi. Summer Elephant? Listen. I'm not going to say they can't do that. I'm just going to say I don't think that would sell very well. I didn't do any leveling this Annie. What 120s you guys working on her, man? I already got Castoria done on an A. But the next one's probably going to be a surprise to chat. Okay, so we're done in Ordeal Call. I keep telling myself that I'm done, but my fingers keep selecting it. That's on both servers. Interesting. All right, chat. Time to watch. Time to get copyright claimed. Oh, might help if I turn sound on. Oh, I'm hearing it double. Wait, that's hell you're walking into right there. Kariba. There, chat.
聖杯戦争なんていう殺し合いに巻き込まれる理由はなくなったんだから、ここで白は降りなさい。
さらばだ。理想を抱いて溺死しろ。
ね、白。答えは？おはようございます、先輩。
God, this brings back memories, as it should. I mean, that's what they're trying to do with this, is they're trying to hype up the visual novel, right?
だから私、白が何したって白の味方をしてあげるの。ダメです、先輩。それじゃきっと先輩を傷つける。エヌマ、エリッシュ。
I like how they're showing it both English and Japanese. Yeah, it only costs 3,500 yen. This point, I don't think they can remake Fate Stay Night. It's too important. Probably not, but I really do hope that they actually give us a Fate route anime at some point. I really feel like it's worthy of that. Damn. Chat be bullying. Okay, let me turn the sound back down to wherever the hell it was there. Just that we don't end up getting destroyed. I think that's asking me if I want to retain the data. I don't want to retain it on JP. I did retain it on NA. And we do need to get in here and do Erish's quest. The Pretender and an alter ego. I'm gonna use my own Erish. Oh, it's doing the whole delayed sound effect again. Wait, did the squirt happen and I missed it, chat? We'll also do one of these, just to be on the safe end. Just in case I need the actual survivability. But I doubt it. I think the support full charges herself. She usually does. They usually start out at full, which I find hilarious because it's like, oh, we'll give you a full gauge, but we won't give you like, won't give you maxed out skills. And I'm like, oh, okay. Let's do that. This is a 3 out of 3, though. You know what? Screw it. I think we do it like that. Problems on Android, like the loading when you try to change the servant. Have you updated your phone? Because it's probably one of two things. It's probably either that they haven't done the like compatibility with the newest like update on Android, which is probably the more likely, or that essentially basically like you've updated it too fast, right? Like if there's usually like you got to give them at least like a day or two for that to like not be the case, but it is what it is. Can you keep two Space Ishtar satisfied at the same time? No, I can't. I mean, I kind of can, right? Because I can do this and then this. Ooh, that's spicy. Gonna have to try a single loop, but it's not gonna work because I'm not gonna get any cards here. Or Splunk. Okay, we're gonna have to actually go with the level 80 support one here. Do it like that. Because she's the one that's by far closer to her NP. And her stealth won't wear off like mine will this turn. We'll just do it like that. Oh, it wasn't quite enough for 5. I haven't updated it much, so it's not the newest version. Can confirm other people outside of me have problems with it on both emulator and phone. That just sounds like there's a compatibility issue then at that point with Android, but it is what it is, right? Like, that's on the dev team. They have to like actually do the compatibility, and kind of like cross check it to make sure there aren't bugs. But it just may be a case of like, because like I assume stuff like this is just usually caused by like a conflict between Unity itself and like an Android phone, rather than like, oh, it's something that the devs themselves have done. So it may be like since the new engine update, that may be a thing, and you can tell me if that's about the timing of that, because we've had the new engine for about like a month or two now, right? That's probably what it is, if I had to guess. When I try to choose a servant, that's weird. But yeah, like that's what I assume, is it's probably the new engine update then at that point. It started after the Anni update. That'd be definitely sooner than the new engine, but yeah, then I mean, is it on a specific server? Is it on like is it on NA or is it on like JP? For me, it's only on JP. Interesting. Phone's been crashing more than ever? Like your phone itself or the game? That just might be a device issue. Ah, damn it. I totally left Arish in my party. I was not thinking. It's okay. We can back end this comp when I play. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I just assume that's probably a Unity compatibility issue, but who knows? I think we'll probably fix it on the maintenance for summer. Probably. Like, that sort of thing. I will say this, Lasingle's usually pretty good about fixing any inherent bugs. We very rarely actually like have bugs that stick around for long periods in time that are catastrophic. Normally, it's just like it's a temporary thing and it gets adjusted, and it's usually due to like just again like compatibility with the engine and or like the like architecture for each of the individual devices. Exhibit A, Hokusai nerf. Yeah, I mean, that's just probably dev oversight more than anything. That's them making a change to the coding, and then they did an oopsie and they flipped the switch, right? We an overcharge rank. Okay, you can do it. I believe in you, Arish. Laughs an overkill bug, yeah. There'll be maintenance at 1300 JST. Yep. Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier, that we're going to be having maintenance soon, so I'm basically just trying to get down my AP on JP for right now, just farming out a little bit more of the half-cost embers while I still have some. Oh wait, hold on. Let me not go back in with Erish. I like Erish chat, but Erish is not a very fast Ember clear. So like I have to come up with like usually a faster unit at that point, which I think I was using the Valks here is what I was doing. That's Berserker. There we go. And then that allows me to slip that in there on the back line. And skadoosh. Oh. Yeah, no, can I make the link? No, you're all good, Zero. I was probably the first person that actually reported that, and other people basically ended up re-reporting it from me. It's really funny. Like, I don't know whether or not I should be flattered or just point out that this is usually the problem with the FGO community in general. Rather than somebody going like, oh, hey, Cad has a really good tweet, let me retweet that. People go, I know, I'm going to make the same tweet and then run off to Reddit with it and claim credit. It is what it is. Like, it's not like I made the mod myself either, so I can't get too upset over it. It's just it kind of calls into like perspective for me. Like, that is the issue with this community at times. I didn't mean to say the word. Yeah, that's all good. Smiles with sensitivity 7 or higher. Yeah, I heard if you get her to max rank, which I haven't done yet, but I heard if you get her there that she has special animation. 10-day-old JP account with 31 units max ascended and no skills leveled highly is an LB7 right now. Do I have a chance against that fight, or should I spend all my AP on Embers clearing Trom, Hay, and Kyo and wait until my account has more? It's difficult for me to say without like looking at which units you actually do have. I'd say you have a chance, but I'm going to say that you're probably better served by leveling. That being said, summer's right around the corner. I say give it a shot, right? Like, if not for summer, I would tell you to be patient, but with summer right around the corner on JP, give it a shot, see if you can actually manage to get in, right? Cad calling out my karma strat. No, like, I don't know. I think the only reason why I have issue with it is because like people don't give credit, right? And I see this happen all the time on Twitter and other places. I just like I'm gonna point out, chat, this is the whole reason that like the content creation situation is the way that it is. That like we don't necessarily have like bigger people around other than like a handful, and that like we don't ever see like any sort of changing of the guard, to so to speak. It's partially because like the big people don't actually like help out the smaller people, regardless of the platform, right? And I think that this has become a more prevalent issue overall, just in general. It's not something that's unique to the Fate community. It's pretty bad in the Fate community right now. So it is what it is. Do you think Cuckoo is worth pulling, or should I be saving most of my courts for Draco? Ooh, how do I phrase this? So you don't have to have either of them. Cuckoo is just ridiculous in terms of damage output. What makes Draco special is Draco covers so many different classes. So Draco's a very good bang for your buck type of unit. I'd say if you're earlier in the game, Draco's probably the better pickup. If you're later in the game, honestly, I'd probably go with Cuckoo, but that may be me smoking something. So it just is what it is. Well, they're very good, yeah. It's always difficult on these sorts of things because it's like, well, you can only roll one, right? And I'm like, I don't know, right? Yeah, fuck, gotcha. But Draco hasn't failed me so far. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not a question of can she do the content, right? Like, usually, especially with MP2 that I've noticed, she's been able to do quite a bunch of stuff. You saying cuckoo just make you cuckoo for cuckoo puffs? I mean, yes, but I'm factoring out any sort of desirability out of the equation. Cuckoo is just an omni looper on the stronger side. Yep. Yep. Is Cuckoo really that good? He's only got 50% attack up, 30% buster up, and 30% MP up. Well, consider the fact that you can double both of that. Consider the fact that any invuln that Cuckoo receives turns into solemn defense. And then consider the fact that the 50% charge skill is targeted. Yeah, it's pretty good. it's pretty good. That's what I'll say, right? Like, people miss the sarcasm, yeah. The 50% charge is targeted? Yeah. Yep. You can target the 50% charge on Cuckoo. Like, that's kind of what's redonkulous. She has a 20-30 on passive. Yeah, like, Cuckoo basically, like, just manufactures... Everyone looks at the fact that she consumes stars, and she does, but she has everything in her kit necessary to be able to deal with that. And any amount of stars she maybe couldn't somehow come up with herself, she literally has, like, the best comp for it, with Buster just having supports that manufacture them, so... Using charge on herself 99% of the time. And I agree with that, right? Like, it's just that flexibility is there as an option should you so choose. But yeah, I do agree most of the time you're going to do it. Oh, and we also forgot to mention she's super effective Earth. So yeah, Cuckoo is going to be one of the, like, best units coming out over the next year. So, like, mark my words, we'll get to like November, December. People will start making their here's the 5 units you need to roll for next year videos. And then I'll be like, well, yeah, naturally, of course, Cuckoo's going to be one of them, right? $30+ stars than NP. Yep. Yep. She be doing that. When are you making your tier list for next year's servants? I don't know. Like, oh god, I hate the concept of tier lists. Like, I understand their usefulness, especially to like newer players, but chat, you guys can always ask me how I feel about a unit, and I'm always happy to answer. The reason I don't like tier lists is usually they give you bad connotations and bad ideas. It's how we get this idea of like, so-and-so isn't meta, therefore they're shit. And it's like, they're not actually shit. They're actually really good. You just either don't know how to use them properly, or basically you're hard stuck on like your favorite fucking unit, and everybody else that isn't that unit is bad to you. But is Morgan still good in current year? Yes. There's already people being like, here's the upcoming servants, and then there's Cuckoo. Yeah, I mean, like, and I'll say this. I think now that we're through, like summer on NA, you're going to see a lot of people already just focusing on the future. Because, like, some people don't care about Huyan Zhou. Some people don't care about Sinnoh Rikyu. So, like, they're just already kind of like gazing into like LB7 and next year and looking at all of that and being like, all right, what should I save for? And I'm not going to say that that's like bad, right? I'm just going to say that that's kind of what we expect. So, Cad, what is Caligula good for? Caligula is actually, he lives in a world basically where he cards really freaking hard. And that might not be apparent to people at first, but when you look at him, it does require like his stars to align, right? Because Caligula is a Roman emperor. Let me pull him up here. But basically, as you actually look at his kit, he's got a triple buster deck. He basically ends up having attack up for 3 turns. He has Imperial Privilege to further give him 40% attack up for 3 turns. And he has Buster up for 1 turn of 50%. His NP, in turn, can basically reduce enemy defense but that's really, you're only going to use this to try and buy him time to a degree. But yeah, that's what you're going to basically try to do, is you're going to try to sell out for like just a wombo with Buster cards. Think of him like mini mini Super Orion, right? And that's kind of how he should operate. And to be fair, this is what I think that they actually should be trying to do with someone like Gilderay. They should absolutely be trying to push him down this path, because that's the only path that he's going to see any usefulness in. Now, don't get me wrong. Does that mean you're going to use Caligula? Fuck no. Caligula literally has like 7k HP, chat, unfold at that point, and one of his skills does basically reduce his defense by 10%, and the other skill here deals 500 damage without killing him, and he's a berserker. This man is not staying alive for long. He is going down, and he has no hard survival. That is his biggest issue. So, like, yeah, you'll see some, like, meme clears with Caligula. They're hilarious when you see it happen. But no, I don't recommend anybody really do it. He seals a lot, too, yeah? Yeah, he has it basically on his NP. Just don't let him get hit. Yeah, it's that simple. Can Cuckoo do the same amount of damage as an Arjuna altar? Probably against an Earth target. Kevin, 90++ is an MP1 Cuckoo Draku Tiamat worth it? Or are we getting to the point that a free-to-play should consider rolling half as many units to save for NP2 on the units they do roll? That's a difficult question. I think this really comes down to whether or not you're okay, like, forcing yourself to do 90++ versus just stepping down to 90+. Okay, remember, there's very minimal efficiency difference, chat. I'm going to say if you're free to play, this absolutely needs to be on the table for you. Absolutely. Okay? Because otherwise, my answer to your question is yes, you should be rolling half as many units and rolling them at NP2. And I don't think that's a good recommendation. Because I'm going to be real with y'all. Your NP1 probably will not cut it a good chunk of the time, especially if they're like a neutral damage dealer, right? Like, it's one thing if we're talking like NP1, we've got a damage CE and stuff like that rolling around, sure. But when we're neutral, when we maybe don't have some sort of type advantage, yeah, your NP1's not cutting in 90++ content. I prefer 90+. Thinking of plus comps hurts my brain. It can. I'm also going to say there's also just the possibility of not caring whether or not you 3-turn, right? And just saying like, oh, well, who cares if I 5-turn? Who cares if I 7-turn? Like, it doesn't really matter, right? Also try multi-damage dealer comps. You can, just keep in mind that the issue with a multi-damage dealer comp is that you can't leverage damage as well. So, like, individually, you can do it. But what happens with that is, depending on the composition, you're not going to get as much damage on the turn that you actually need it, which usually then means that your individual parts of a multi-damage dealer comp have to be stronger. But it does depend on the situation. Zach, thank you for the prime. Jack, can we get some love for Zach, our newest sub? Enjoy your emotes. Also, YouTube people, I believe the Prime memberships are now enabled because I don't think they were enabled before or something. I don't know. YouTube sent me a message that basically for every like unique chatter, I'm now getting paid because they did some sort of like membership, like, what's the word that I'm looking for? They did some sort of like membership promotional thing. So like, now, like, it doesn't even matter if people like actually subscribe to me as a member. I think I just get money no matter how much like people talk in my chat, which is kind of hilarious. But I have no idea how long that lasts for. Kind of not true in my experience. That Jar, I'm going to tell you it's kind of not true in my experience. Like what you're saying, right? because not every single one of those 90 plus pluses ends up having a damage CE, ends up having a damage bonus unit. We have had times where neither were in play. And then your NP1 neutral damage dealer ain't going to do it, right? Now, yeah, with the right supports, with an effective damage dealer that's actually synergized, sure. Can you do it at MP1? Probably. I'm just telling you that, yeah, it's not going to be true all the time. And when we're asking specifically about the neutrals, no, I don't think it will cut it. Whoop! Mukiwara, thank you for the prime as well. Yeah, can we get some love for Mukiwara? Double Summer Scotty Koye, let my NP1 Musashi Saber do the 90 plus plus from Summer easily. Yeah, okay. Now hold on though, chat. I'm gonna say this is gonna sound awful. That's gonna be probably one of the easiest ones. I know, and I know for a fact everyone's gonna look at that and they're gonna be like, CAD's overhyping 90 plus plus. It's not that hard. They're not all gonna be that easy, chat. You had a damage bonus CE and damage bonus units. And out of all the events, Summer usually has the most damage bonus units out of all of them, right? So you did have multiple options to choose from. Just wait till Morgan Fest round 2? Yeah, it's why I'm saying that, chat. I'm not speaking to you from like the current node. I'm speaking to you from 2 years worth of nodes. Okay? That's why I'm basically saying what I'm saying. You guys making me worried? You shouldn't worry. If you can't do it, the easy solution is step down or take more turns. It's that simple, chat. Like that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm telling you this so you don't get super worried. I'm telling you this so you don't like get your panties in a wad and end up going, screw it, this isn't working, I'm a roll more. It's not worth it. Another spider lotto, yeah. Takes my NP4 Percival to do the Fairy Knight 90 plus plus. The Fairy Knight 90 plus plus. That still doesn't add up though. Like, are you talking about round 2 there? Or are you talking about round 1? Because I think round 1 I did with Lartoria. Oh, round 3. Yeah, maybe it was round 3. One of them is an archer round, I think. Roll MP3 of the new unit. It's that simple. Yeah, and that's I'm trying not to like sit here and just be like, yo, chat, this is what we all should be doing, right? Because I don't think that's a good suggestion. I don't think we should be saying, hey, everybody, just go out and roll. I think telling you that is a bad idea. I think it's always going to be better to tell you guys to basically be like patient and not put your currency on the line just so you can clear one node, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to give you guys that perspective. All right, chat. This may come as a shock to you, but I had enough embers in my mailbox. I underestimated how many embers can possibly be stored, especially on JP. So we're going to finish this one. You guys saw her the other day. She was like 104. All of that is from my mailbox, chat. All of it. And it's 4 times suck rate is what's really doing the job. You'll see, these are all stacks of, there you go. There's a proc right there. Draco before finishing Zerktria? Yes, because Draco is an extra class, right? So like Draco, I don't have embers other than embers I've pre-farmed for her or hoarded. So that's why we did Draco. It's being more efficient with my embers. Yeah, that 4 times suck rate's really nice. Took me ages to get Summer Comma. Oh, it definitely will. Like, part of why this is possible is I've just been sitting on embers. Like, I I don't know how I have so many. I have so many stacks of like 50 or 100 5-star embers. I'll go ahead and I'll show you guys my mailbox as we get in here. But you guys will see it's, and again, look at all the successes. 4 times is no joke, chat. Y'all should be taking advantage of it with the little time you got left. Is JP mail storage larger? No, it's same size as an A. We're both at 400 now. There you go. That got me to that. Oh my god, there we go. Now, here, chat, here's foes, right? More foes. More foes. So about 8 of the 51 are foes. Okay, sorry, 10, 12, 14, 16. But look at the rest of this, chat. And this is just what's left after I've already drained everything to get Draco to this point. I still have this many. I have no idea how. Like, I've just been sitting on this, I guess. The game is just being that generous. Yeah, like, it's also, this is working from a position of like power in that sense, where like I have everything in the game leveled up that I have. Like, chat, this is esports. This is esports, this is esports, and this is esports. This is also esports. This is just, I don't know, I probably should get rid of them, but like, I haven't, right? So, the only unleveled things are my 3 120 projects. Yes, you heard me. 3. And in this time, I basically, like, I've gotten Made Altar up like a level or 2. I've gotten Castoria up like 3 levels. And we've gotten Draco up 20. And there it is. That simple. It's as shrimple as that, chat. Oh my god, I do this every freaking time. Hold on, chat. I don't want to lose that screen because I lost that on Made Altar, I think. When do tickets get more mass to exchange for? Was that not like right here with the download campaign on NA? Is it September? Ooh, I got a gold foe her. And there you go, chat. You can see how much I've spent on her in that regard. Let's go take a look at those appends. Okay, so we got basically... Sorry, that's third skill. We got basically anti-caster attack damage aptitude. I mean, that's not bad for... That could be useful. I definitely want mana loading. Extra attack finesse is not bad. Special attack finesse. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't have the coins right now anyways. But I think the skill reloading might be the better one on her. Yeah, be sure to save coins for 150. I don't think they'll make something like that take 150. I think if we get 150 in the game, chat, what you're gonna see is you're gonna see just a like, because I want you guys to think about this from the dev perspective. Why would they give you a 150? I'm gonna tell you right now. They would basically straight up be needing to reboot. What do I mean? That is to say, they don't like the current balance structure of the game. They recognize that there's problems. And I'm not talking about individual units. I'm talking about they don't like the current balance structure of the summation of the game's units versus nodes. So the easiest way to reboot and invalidate prior, earlier, like, content, again, even things like Ordeal Call and Stormpod nodes, would be to basically say, you know what? There are now level 150 nodes. And as a result, we are now letting you guys go to 150 because what we're going to do is we're going to just basically add 30 levels to every single unit in the game. So a 5 stars, like, you know, normal max level at that point would be 120. A 4 star would be 110. A 3 star would be 100. A 2 star would be 95. And a 1 star would be 90 at that point. Okay. Then, in addition, any grails that you have, you can still grail a total of, at minimum, 30 levels. Therefore, you would be able to go again to 150 here from a 5 star. Okay. And that would be how they would do it. Sorry, they probably wouldn't make the node 150. They'd make the node like 120 or something. Right. But that would be how you would do it. And that would be a pretty, like, soft reboot of the actual game's, like, reward structure. And while that sounds crazy, yeah, I can totally see them doing that in the future. That's thinking like a dev, though, chat. Yeah, how about no? So it actually wouldn't be that bad in that sense, right? Because it wouldn't be like grailing. It would just be everybody now has an additional 30 levels that they can level. Yeah, it would take a lot of embers. Everyone would be like, oh my god, I gotta level all my units again. But it would be smart of the devs to do it. I'd like to see a 120 Arash. I mean, you could already see a 120 Arash in the game right now. Now you'd be able to see, according to that, a 150, and that would be terrifying. It'd be hilarious if it took coins, but with the recent drama, I'm very certain it won't. Yeah, I'm gonna take them at least partially at their word, chat, and I'm gonna assume that, like, they really don't want to, like, rock the boat on that. They really don't want to, like, piss people off. Okay, we're still good. I'm double checking all the materials here just to make sure. Because there is a certain material that I really don't want to use if it's here. We should be good. Okay, so there you go. She's got a maxed out append now. I don't know why I hadn't done that. I think because what I needed her for before was just having it unlocked. And that was okay. But yeah, I find it hilarious that I have NP5 and I just literally have not bonded her enough to even have another append unlocked. This chat, she is only bond 6 for me. And your first 6 bond levels, you only get 30 coins. So even though I have 450 coins from this, that is a total of 480. That is enough for my 300 coins from grailing and my 120 coins from one append to basically equal 420, which is why I have 60 coins at the moment. So in spite of the fact that I rolled MP5, I only have enough to do one single append. It's wild. Blasphemy. Yeah, I mean, like, it's just, yeah, I need to bond her, right? And I'm gonna say this is my issue with them, and it's why, like, I'm becoming jaded on the whole bonding issue. Fine, I'm just gonna be inefficient with my bond, and I don't fucking care anymore. Like, that's my entire stance on this, is like, all right, cool, you're gonna lock all the coins behind bond. That's fine. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to be perpetually bonding all of my fucking units in my back line or even in my front line as much as humanly possible. And if a unit reaches bond 15, I don't give a crap. I'm beginning to think coins aren't a great system. Pins are a great system. Grailing to the 120 is a great system. Coins are bad, and coins feed these other two. So these are not bad systems, but they become bad when the mechanism for feeding them is trash. I'll be 120ing my first servant this week, Mary Anning, purely for fun. Nice. I'm sure you're enjoying. Well, no. Sorry, that was I don't know why, but Mary Anning in my head immediately went to what's her face, Corday instead. But yeah, no, Mary Anning. Well, yeah, you'll be like me. You'll just be me, but stronger. You won't have accidentally grilled your Mary Anning. Spawn down matters more for servants you use. I think 6 slotting will be less needed because that demands you put low servants in the back. People are still going to try to 6 slot because at minimum, right? Like those 6 slots can be like 6 bond Cs. But I do agree, and I think like that issue with the first 3 slots having plus 20 bond is really rough, right? Like it's incentivizing you to like use the units that you want to bond, and I'm okay with that to a degree. But some of the units, let's just be real, chat, are not in the best of places or are not the most usable units, right? You can't just take them to every node and use them. That's where, like, again, some of that issue really kind of comes in and rears its ugly head is, okay, cool. So then we're naturally going to be using things like the supports and bonding them more because they're almost always going to be in our front line. And simultaneously, we're going to be doing a lot of like farming and clearing with an AoE. So our AoEs are going to bond faster than our single targets. So yeah, we just have this really odd structure. Would it be dumb to 120 Arjuna Altar? Extremely no, you'd be perfectly fine. That's 120 Arjuna Altar is going to be great. He's still going to do tons of damage. Do you have the gold foes for Draco? No, I do not. Not at the moment. I am currently in progress gold foeing my mate altar, though, who is another 120 target. But who gets that bond? Do you really care if Bing K is bond 10 plus? I mean, let's go look at my NA, chat. Hey, chat. Welcome to all my 2 and 1 stars. These are the people that get put in my back line when I'm trying to use 4 other 5-star units. Notice a trend? We kind of have a problem, right? I honestly don't get why people say FGO gameplay is outdated. Looking at Honkai Star Rail, that gameplay boils down to 2 buttons and then you press Alt. In my opinion, FGO's problem is how it's presented, being mostly 2D PNGs, and how the story is presented, which is words on a screen and we don't get to see the action. People have short attention spans nowadays and people don't want to read. I disagree with the last assertion, but I do agree with your first part. Basically, yeah, I don't think FGO's gameplay is outdated, and I do think people look down on it just because it's like 2D sprites. Now the text to speech kicks in. There we go. Okay, now it's finished. But yeah, like basically I think people can read. I think the story is what keeps people playing to a large degree, Praxis. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it's for everyone, right? Like, I think some people legitimately don't want to read and just turn their brain off. That being said, those people are already the people that probably just skip story in that regard. And listen, I'm gonna be real with y'all, okay? While people might want to be shown rather than told, chat, I've played Genshin. I've played Wuthering Waves. I've played Star Rail. Those games don't often allow you to skip. FGO puts all the words on the page for you, but gives you a skip button. Not everyone likes a visual novel setting. Yeah, and I understand that. Zinless Zone Zero has skip. That's wild that they put it into their newest game, but not their older games. But yeah, the whole point that I was making here is like, chat, you guys can see this is sorted by bond, right? Every stinking one of these is bond 10 with 2 exceptions. One will be there shortly. The other just came out. Like, chat, where is he? Yeah, even Chendong here. Even the big gong be sitting there at 10 out of 10. Okay? And I don't use him really even for like the purposes of like farming, honestly. Most of the time if he's in my party, it's as a backline just because I need the space. So if there was a skip, any game would have no effort. Yeah. I think Wu has skip, but fair point. It might now. It didn't when I first started playing it. Or at least, like, not everything was skippable. How do I know this? It's the reason I quit. I got stuck in a 3-hour quest on Wua, and I said, nah, fuck this. I'm not doing this again. I had seen what I needed to see from that. It was added in the first patch? Yeah. That's not surprising to me if that's the case. They take all the suggestions for the old game and just put them in the new ones. Yeah, and I'm going to say this. People aren't going to like it either because, you know, obviously they come out with new gacha units and they come out with new areas, right? Because we can just erase that and basically say that they're still trying to monetize the game and make money off of it. But yes, I think we can now kind of see as like a lot of how MiHoYo works is they just kind of like move on to the next thing to a large degree. There's different teams still working on it, but I think the funding kind of goes like lion's share goes to the new project, and I think like the older projects just are getting deprioritized. And it doesn't mean that like, oh, well, they're going to be late, they're not going to deliver on time. They still have their own teams, they're still going to be trying to function to the best of their ability, but they maybe just don't have as much to work with as a result. And I think that's just kind of how it is. But we'll see, right? I think time will be, you know, the telling factor here now that we have 3 different MiHoYo games really kind of up and running. And I know that's discounting Honkai Impact, so. Ken chat, pick the items of Summer NA. I think today is the last day. The items of Summer NA. Wait, what do you mean? Oh. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. I think I did forget to do that. You have 22 hours left, by the way, chat, on the Rare Prism shop on NA. Well, it's not the last day. We have literally one more day, but yeah. Okay. Can't use that for anything else, I don't think. Let me double check here. Do I really care about the code removers? Do I want to do a Giga Brain Galaxy move and assume that they use code removers for the coin or pin swapping? There you go, chat. I was clicking this button right up until the end of the event, so you can see that I barely got anything else. They won't, Can? Is good, but I don't have the time or the patience. I play in short bursts. Yeah, no, I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, I'm way more okay with a story-based game that at least gives you like the time to handle it on your own. That is my criticism of FGO at times, is that they almost incentivize you to skip or to pop blue apples because they just like they go too hard into the visual novel aspect at times. I like visual novels myself, but there is a point where I want the visual novel at my convenience and on my schedule, not when the devs want it. And that's kind of the issue at play there, is like when you go like, oh, okay, I'll start this chapter. Oh my God, it's like 3 hours of reading before I get to the point where I first spend AP down, right? That's a massive amount of QP. I know. Now chat is the point where I make you actually cry though, because now I show you how much QP I actually still have after everything. Okay? This is me still with this amount, and I have like nothing to actually do with that. So we're gonna end up going into a lotto, and I'm gonna max it right back the hell out and just not have anything to spend it on. Gotta love LB60 AP nodes. Yeah. And I understand that like the suddenly wyverns is also bad too. I think there is a nice in between, but I do believe that they should be like breaking it up at times and giving us the opportunity, right? Like giving us, or I'll say this, chat. Here, I'm okay with a 3-hour segment, but how about we have like a TLDR warning in the front that's like, hey, warning. On average, it takes players 30 minutes to clear to the next section where you can spend down AP. That'd be great. I would love a sort of like time estimate that tells me how long it's probably going to take me on average or some shit, right? Like an estimated reading time or something. I understand some people read faster, some people read slower, but like, yeah, I think this would just absolutely help people out a ton. And then that way they would know like, okay, here's how much time I need to like sit down and block out and devote to this. The section time is the thing I now find most useful on Game Press. Yeah, it's kind of sad that we're at that point where like, again, we're having to come up with stuff because the devs have not implemented these sorts of quality of life. To be fair, I'm not sure that like a ton of people have actually asked for something like that. So I'll give them a pass on something like that, but there's definitely quality of life that people have been asking for years that we just still haven't gotten. Okay, grab them writer pieces. Grab me the caster pieces. Grab me the assassin pieces. And grab me the lancer piece. A singular piece. Then... that's actually Berserker. And then that. And then that. Oh. Oh, I still have bronze. Okay. Two more Berserker pieces. There we go. VN page count's a pretty crazy idea. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think that we need, like, super amounts of hand holding. I would just like a warning, right? And I think that would be a good idea because that way, like, I don't, it happens to me all the time, chat. I don't know if it happens to you guys, but like, for instance, oh, let's say it's a new event. Like, for instance, the summer event here that, you know, is now coming to a close. When the summer event came out, you know, like, I'd wake up in the morning, the event is out, and I would have to legitimately read for like an hour. It took that much time and devotion for me to actually get to the point where I was caught up on the story and could either unlock the next node for efficiency purposes or just get through it basically to have it done, right? That's where, like, yeah, I think people that are on a time budget, that they're trying to go to school, they're trying to go to work, they don't have the time to do that in the morning necessarily. So giving them that warning lets them know, like, okay, I shouldn't focus on this. I should make blue apples. I should go and spend my AP down in another node before trying to attempt this. Rather than like, hey, you get halfway in and you're just like, shit, I gotta go, and you just hit the skip button. I think that's a better idea, and it would actually result in less people skipping. Pieces are the worst ascension mats because you never get any from the high event nodes. Yeah, I mean, you get the monuments, right? The statues and monuments, the gold ones, basically, you get usually from high-end content, but the silvers you rarely do get. That's always kind of been an issue overall. Okay. So let me just make sure that we've done everything that we need to do on JP, because like I said, chat, the JP stuff is like going down now. We are going to be losing like the 4 times suck rate. We're going to be losing the half cost stuff here. So I need to spend as many of the embers as I possibly can. Let me go burn those silver embers. And you guys will see, this is basically how I end up managing things on my account. I don't bother using silver embers. They're free mana prisms as far as I'm concerned. And they're a third as effective as a 4-star ember. In which people are already like being like, hey, should we even be using 4-star embers? Which you should. But like the fact that people are questioning that tells you no, you absolutely shouldn't be using the 5-star ember or the 3-star embers. Let me real quick here boot this up. I need the answer to a question. Where is it? Here. 1 to 90 takes 377 normal. Take a look at that. It's 127 5-star. So if I have 7 units, well, there's 2 more 5-stars, right? At least, right? So 2 more 5-stars, and this is worst case scenario planning here. Times that 127 is 254. For an 80 unit, it's 89. So 254 is that number, chat. Remember that for me. So then 89 times 1, 2, 3, 4. That plus half as much, so err on the side of caution, plus 45, plus 254. So I need 655 5-star embers to be able to level everybody up at summer. Though it's reasonable to assume that we're going to get another 100 stack, so I can back that out. We need about 500 embers, and I should be fine. Did you follow, chat? Did you follow what I was doing there? I'm literally like telling myself this is how many stacks. So like I need that stack. I need that stack. That's 200. That's 350. That's 4. And that's 5. Everything below that line coming out. No reason that I have to keep it. Which means, come hither. We have a new episode of Fujimaru anime tomorrow. Yeah, I saw we got the new season. Gotta go ham. The summer start tonight after the stream or when Arish Banner goes away? We're gonna go down for maintenance tonight, and then we will end up having a like live stream tomorrow morning. Mr. Two Love Trouble is gonna be covering that. He'll be live translating it, all the new summer reveals. It'll be interesting because chat, I'm gonna say this. It does depend on when it was like recorded, if it's pre-recorded or whatever, but I won't be surprised to also hear them address the coin issue, at least like partially. I don't think you're necessarily going to get new news, but they might like do a public apology or something for it. So we'll see. Or they might showcase something to be like, hey, this is how it's going to work, right? Because I think they're going to want to get out ahead of it. They're going to want to like make sure that everyone is like still like calmed down about that situation. Arish Banner should overlap. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I believe she's still around for like 4 more days. How many statues and monuments need to finish an Ordeal Call tree? Ooh, that's a good question. I want to say it's like 600? Finish the entirety of the tree? Yeah, am I wrong on that? Because I feel like it's around that number. If you give me a second, I can go look it up for you. So it's like you need at least 600 of like every class, basically. Yeah, and I wonder if I have enough. I don't think I'll have enough to finish off Castoria Berserker here. But again, she's a Berserker, so anytime I farm embers, I'm going to get some embers to go towards her. Still, it's crazy that they don't at least give coins for Bond right now. I pointed that out too, right? That like I'm surprised they don't just go ahead and give us the integer value tweak, but I don't know. They may just be like, hey, let's just do it all at once and let's test it so that there's no bugs because we don't want to make people more angry. I think that's legitimately what they're trying to do, right? $500 gold, 140 silver. Okay, yeah. So 600, just not all the same type. How many grails does it take for 120? Just from 100 to 120, it's going to take you 10 grails because you get 2 levels per grail. I have like 30 plus grails. I have never missed a grail casting on JP, though admittedly I have not done my grail casting on JP for this month because part of me was like waiting to see did I become rich again and get all the coins refunded to me, or did I end up, I probably shouldn't have done that, that may have been a waste, or do I end up rolling at summer here and getting a ton of coins from that, which that's probably what I'm hoping is going to bail me out, because usually I get a ton of like 3-star coins from doing robust roll sessions. That's no problem. Did you see all the new FGO figures? Bunny Castoria. I did see the Bunny Castoria one. I'm not sure I saw too many of the others. That was Riders. I didn't want to do that. Okay, let's pull out some of the others. Actually, it's safer if I just go ahead and contribute the Riders to her. Yeah, I did. God, that was almost a whole stack of Riders. Fuck. That's not what I wanted to do. And you guys can see, by the way, I still have a ton sitting in my second archive. This is not my mailbox. This is not my inventory. This is all second archive, baby. It's like, again, there ain't nothing here at the moment. You and your butterfingers, it happens. It usually happens when I get distracted. So again, 100. I'm going to discount the extra like 4-star stacks just for leeway here. 100, 200, 350, 400, 500. So everything after that. God, there's just so much. Yeah, I might have enough to finish Castoria. Holy crap. Especially if I get lucky with the procs. That's going to be 3 120s in one day. I don't know what to do with myself if that's the case. I also, like, I have no idea how I got, like, this many embers into my mailbox. I have no idea how I have this many 50 and 100 stacks of them. Obviously, you can buy them from events, but we haven't had that many events. And obviously, I can buy them from the monthly reset, but that's, 12 stacks at most. So I don't know where I've gotten all these extra stacks from. How good is the XP bonus this time? We have a 4 times success chance. So normally we have 3 times at anniversary. The highest we've ever had in the game is 5 times at Anni 5, but they gave us a 4 times this time, which is kind of odd. I wonder what the hell they're going to do for next year, because people are going to be expecting them to give an even better rate next year, but we'll see. Did Anni give a lot out? Sometimes we do have campaigns that give, like, embers in it, but I don't know. Like, I can't imagine we've had that many, but maybe I'm just crazy, right? LOL at 10 times? I can't imagine. You guys see how often this shit's procking for 4 times, right? Like, and 5 times is even more. I cannot imagine 10 times the rate. That would pretty much be like, it'd have to be in almost every single time proc, right? Which that would be nuts, especially for like grailing a unit. They had 7 times once? Did they? I don't remember that at all. Is it a bug? Seventh Anni? No. They didn't do 7 times for 7th Anni, did they? I don't think they did. This is just guaranteed exclusively for 10. That's what they did with 5th Anni. They said that was the only time they were ever going to do 5 times. Highest is 5 times? Okay, that's what I was going to say. I could have sworn it was just 5. You should 120 all Artoria variants. Way ahead of you. That is what I am doing. It's just, chat, that is a long and arduous process. I'll show you my NA here right after this. But this is the issue, is I have to get all this done. Oh, I shouldn't have done that if it God damn it! I'm wasting embers. I literally see it happening, but I've already pressed the button. Yeah, chat, she's gonna make it. Oh my god, super. Dear lord, a fucking full, 20 stack. Oh my god, followed up by a great. Full 20 stacks of 5-star embers. When you get a great or a super suck on them, oh Jesus, wow. Wow. This is just going hard. Oh my god. What the hell? We move, and there you go. So that was 4 in a row. And now that's 5 for 6. 7 for 8. All right, there we go. That's that. All right, so now let's redo it again. So 100, 200, 350, 400, 500. So everything below that. And see, chat, I don't need to hold on to these embers, so that's partially what I'm doing here. I'm just pulling them suckers out because I get the benefit of the 4 times suck rate. May as well use it. The best rate we've had since 5th Anni. So quite literally the best rate we've had in 4 years. Maybe that's why it's 4 times. There's a bug when Coin of Light where Super Suck nearly always triggered. Yeah, that may be what chat's referring to. I was gonna say, I think there was a time when it was bugged, but besides that, yeah, that's the 5 times is the highest. Is great suck? Yeah, it's the inverse of whatever NA is. And chat, you'll have to remind me. I'm pretty sure the new player guide tells us, but I don't actually remember because I haven't had to deal with it in a long time. I believe super is bigger on JP, great is bigger on NA. I think. My game is like 40 gigabytes and still kind of slow. Have you done the like download for all the data? Okay, I need to be careful here. Because remember, I can get a triple proc. I'll let that fly, because these are just the 4-star embers. There you go. All right, chat. We're going to get 3 120s in one day. That is just absurd. This should never be possible. And the fact that I'm doing it like all from my inventory is absurd. Like, NA was not, right? But these 2 on JP have pretty much been in that regard. I wish I had enough to finish her. Four times rate, do be doing and do. Need to change the title of stream now, I guess, right? Like, I don't know how this happened, but it did, and I'm happy that it did. Problem is, who do I want a 120 on my JP next? Because like I'll have made alter in prog, but like, What the hell? They changed it. Is it? It's really silly. Yeah, like the reason that it's reversed, as far as I understand, is just due to like localization and the fact that like if you asked an American like which is bigger, great or super, they would say super. If you or great, I don't remember. It's something to do with that, like, or at least I have to guess, or that or they just like flipped it in the code for some reason. Like, I know you can see, like, when it's super sucked, you have, like, the 4 kanji. So I assume the way it translates in Japanese is, like, super is just that much greater, right? Where's the 120 ruler Arteria? I have that on both servers. You doubt me, chat? Okay, let's not do that. We're gonna fish. Oh, wait, that was 119. Oh my god, I was thinking it was 120. Dumb of me. Okay. $12 people have to kick the bucket to get a singular grail while this dude has over 30. Yep. This is chat. This is why, like I said, like I'm gonna be so rich on servant coins on JP because I honest to God, I don't think most people have done all their grail casting on JP. I think most people either ran out of coins or gave up. And I don't blame them for it because the way the FP system works at the moment, it's terrible. But like, holy crap. And I'm going to say this, chat, now that you know what you know, you definitely should not be like whiffing on an A. You should absolutely be making sure you do every grail casting on an A. Because the same thing that happened on JP probably going to happen on an A when it eventually comes around, right? Okay, so 100, 200, 350, 400, 500 right there. Swing. And it is just enough. Let's see some of the, well, No, we'll use the 4 stars because the 4 stars take up more room. There's no point in fishing for a proc with only 6. There we go. I cannot believe it, but we did it. And just to show you, let me turn off the limit max. So she is quite literally perfected in a lot of ways. Not in the append way though. Probably end up making a post here. Yeah, there you go. So it's the same issue as Draco. I may have enough to do a second append on her though. Let me actually go double check that. Which Wait. Hold on. This is the button that takes you to a node to farm. What's this doing here? Yeah, gay? Yeah? Yeah, I can farm by logging it. And then this is I believe this is Mana Prism and Rare Prism shop. Sorry, I think this is Rare Prism, this is Mana Prism. Like, it shows you, but I still find that fucking hilarious because it's like, there's nothing I can do. Chat, she's actually done. She's done with faux pas as well. I forgot she was the unit that I was in progress on for faux pas. So she is Gucci. She is now maxed out in that regard as well. So she do be doing. Nice pause. Middle is Manum, bottom was Rare? Oh, really? Okay, so it's the inverse of what I thought. Gotta work on class scores, man. Yeah, I mean, I can go look at my Berserker class score. I think we're okay on that, though. Well, like, I think I've taken it as far as I can because I'm waiting on the unlockers. Yeah, so I literally have both the NP damage ups. I just don't have the other route, which is the extra attack benefits. And like, chat, this is what I'm doing is I'm kind of trying to be efficient with it. But you can see, like, I'm getting to the point that I have like way too much of the Stardust and the I have plenty to be able to still spend on the nodes. I don't have the unlockers, and that's the biggest issue. Without the unlockers, you can't go further. What is this? This is class score. This is the mechanic on JP that, like, when you do your storm pods, you get dust, and this dust is used to enhance entire classes. So, like, this is the Berserker class score. Probably doing Zerker first when we get it on an A. I mean, you certainly can. It really depends on how often you see yourself using the individual units. So, like, I started out actually with, like, Lancer because I wanted to make Lartoria the best. And then from there, I haven't done very many. I think... Did I do extra 2? Nope, didn't touch extra 2. Shouldn't have touched extra 1 because there's no way we can, really. Oh, now... Ooh. Oh. I could preemptively do this for when Ruler gets unlocked. Because right now we have Avenger, which we didn't have until Ordeal Call 2 finished. So that one's probably what I need to do next. But yeah, I've done Lancer, at least to the 2 NP damages. And then Berserker, and that may be it. I may not have dabbled too much in it. Yeah, I've barely touched Saber. So, like, to be fair, chat, a lot of this is like, why spend the resources when you're limited on the unlockers? Like, there's only so deep into the tree you can go without them, and the best stuff is locked behind those tier 3 unlockers. So it's like, until they start giving us more, yeah, I don't give a shit. And I gotta be honest with you guys, the devs have talked about this as of the prior Famitsu interview. They straight up said that they're limiting on this on us, or us on this on purpose. They're doing it because they know that if they just let us have free reign, that we'll farm it out and be done. So that's why they're limiting us. But I will say the rate of unlockers has been pretty abysmal, because yeah, like right now, I think you have a grand total of 4 in the entire game that they've ever given out. 4. So like, I don't know. Probably gonna do Saber first from here. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. More than 4, I'm sure, right? Nope. Nope. It's been 2 trees in a year. Yeah, it's been wild. And like, technically, it's only been 1. If you really want to think about it this way, because chat, the 4 unlockers that we've gotten could have all been used in the same tree. So like, I don't know. Doesn't seem like it's worth. Do they even make sure you get the unlockers? Yeah, because the quest is permanently there until you do it. So some crazy people have only unlocked 1 full class core? Yes. Class core system is powerful, so it is, but it isn't. Like, I'm not gonna say it doesn't have an impact, but like, the majority of where its actual power lies is mostly in carding. The unlockers and the other stuff are different. Is it? Was it not the tier 3? Hey, maybe I should be doing this. That's my bad on that. Yeah, I'll look into that later, because that's a I have to sit there and look at the resource availability more than anything. But yeah, so chat, now I have even more on my JP account. Is that my Saberface lineup? Yeah. I mean, I could throw Made Alter in there in place of Reigns. Made Alter's in Prague. Right? So... $120, $120, $120, $120, $120, $120. Can't be completed, but at $114. In progress. So we'll just give that a plus instead. And definitely not 120ing until we get some sort of like coin resolution. Like the 4 stars are going to be what's really difficult. But I definitely need to get my hands on MHX on JP. She's like the missing link right now. One of those things was not like the other. Well, to be fair, it's my event support. So, like, I think I threw Reigns up because I was like, oh, well, Made Alter's not going to be super useful right here, right now. But yeah, I'll leave her in. But yeah, that's my JP. Okay. Well, it's better if I show this. One 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 20. And then this one's in Prague. We're getting there, chat. The sad part is things are really gonna slow down from here on out, because like I've used up my entire horde of grails. Chat, I can literally take her to 102 and then I'm done. I've used all grails possible. Work for your servants only or supports too? Your servants only. So yeah, it's like I literally need 9 more grails here. I need 10 here, and I need 10 here. So I still need 29 more grails. That's gonna take some time. Technically, I should only need 8 more grails here, but y'all are aware. Y'all are aware. If you know, you know. It is what it is. Hopefully she gives us 3 grails on Ordeal Call 3, just like Trom. Yeah, we'll see, right? Like, because I definitely think that they're not going to care as much. Though, to be fair, and I'm trying to remember when it is. Avalon, I always ask you this, but when do we get the big influx? Because I always keep forgetting when it actually happens. And I want to say it's like, is it the release of Ordeal Call? Is it like Prologue, or is it Ordeal Call 1? I see a pattern, yeah. Around May, early June. That sounds like Ordeal Call 1. So, like, next year, chat, we're literally going to get given a crap ton. Let me go look it up. Is it 28 million downloads? Campaign before? I'd love to be able to take grails out of some units. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hate it either. The pre-release or the Ordeal Call release? I don't think it's the pre-release. Yeah, if it's one of those, fandom's not really saying. Oh, there's multiple parts to the pre-release. Hold on. And the caster and assassin mines for gold cookies? Yeah. And like I said, the caster cookies especially are usually pretty bad for people. I could never find this, I swear. Because I know it's there, but like, it was one of those things that like everyone took for granted at the time. Hmm. So it was the release campaign, not the pre-release. Wait, it was on this page. So I see the master level increase. The extra tour quest section? Yeah. There's some of it. Yeah. Yeah. A crap ton of foes. That's less than I remember, though. Okay, yeah, that's so we did get a bunch of extra lures. I was gonna say. So, chat. You're gonna find your way into a lot of this, right? And it's basically like new milestones. So you can see it's reach X number of ascensions for any servant of any class, right? Duplicates of the same servant ID don't count. But so like basically as you go, like you'll get even more and you'll eventually keep climbing that ladder there. And eventually the maximum here is 100. So when you have 100 ascensions of any particular class, you'll get this. So like, I want to be clear here, chat. That's per class, if I remember correctly. Level up skills X number of times for any servant of any class. Reach X number of bond levels for any servant of any class. Gives you a shit ton of QP. And then reach X number of levels for any servant of any class. Gives you a shit ton of normal and gold foes. Sadly, for someone like me, the normal foes are a total freaking waste. But for newer players, for people that are not necessarily at an in-game point, yeah, no, this is actually huge for you guys. Feed me the CAD prism and faux pas. Yeah, it's really, really, really nice. Sent you the image of the totals from back then. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's more what I was looking for. Yeah, so 9 total holy grails, chat. 63 different tiers for 9 additional holy grails, so you can get up to 18 grails. 27 crystallized lores. 422 million QP. This is the butt kicker. This is the actual butt kicker. 400 faux pas. Which is more than the sum total of which you can have previously acquired in the entire duration of the game. There are more faux pas given out in this campaign at one time than the entirety of faux pas' existence in the game prior to it. Here's another one you guys will love. 36 bond grails. This is why I've been telling you guys, like, you really do not need to be buying so many bond grails. Like, you're going to get a crap ton. I have barely dented that amount. Okay. People say that Annie gives less rewards next year. I mean, this is probably one of the reasons why, right? Are the faux pas the 4-star ones? No. Let me be clear, okay? So like these are foes. Okay, normal foes. These are gold foes. I'm not talking about either of those. I'm talking about these. These are faux pas prints. These are the things that enhance your servant's cards, and they are really like rarely given out. So it's freaking funny how much they give. So you're gonna get 420 here. I'll go to the proper page for this. Like of these things, chat, of the 3-star foes, you're gonna be given 420 of them, and not just 3-star, but 4-star as well. You're going to be able to, like, gold foes so many new units. Because I think it's what, chat? Is it 50 gold foes? Oh, no. I'm sorry. It's not 420. It's not 420. That I misread this. That's 420 times 3 base, or sorry, it's 420 for 3-star attack and HP. 3-star foes, okay? 420 3-star foes for attack and HP. It is 180 4-star attack and HP foes. Okay, so sorry about that. I totally misread that. It's 50, yeah. So you'll be able to do, assuming you get all the rewards, chat, you'll be able to do 3 new units. Literally, just from scratch, right there on redemption of these rewards, you'll be able to gold foe 3 more units. And then some. They say how many ordeal calls we'll get. Everybody assumes at least 3, because that is how much was teased in the original ordeal call teaser. No one knows if we're going to get more. All we know is that it's going to wrap up next year. You are going to be given 50,860 mana prisms. And you are going to be gifted 108 rare prisms. Okay? So that is the sum total of the rewards from the event. Again, in total, 18 grails, 27 lores, 422 million QP, 400 faux paw prints, 36 bond grails, 420 of each of the 3-star foes, 180 of each of the 4-star foes, over 50,000 mana prisms, and over 100 rare prisms. All in one campaign. It's freaking nuts. What event is that? This is literally the Ordeal Call release campaign. It happened like June next year. And thank you for the follow, Luis. I looked and the math seemed really crazy. Oh, it is. It is. Like, we still couldn't believe that we actually got all of that. Technically aren't supposed to go to the foreigner OC, like with Camelot and Avalon. Yeah, we'll see, right? Like, I have no idea what they'll do. Ordeal Call release was the real 8th Annie. Rewards-wise, probably. Like, it is what it is, right? Like, and that's where I'm going to say at the same time, like, chat, I saw that. I remembered getting all of that on JP, so it's why, like, I wasn't immediately butthurt on Annie 8. I never really thought that Annie 8 was that bad, other than, again, we didn't get a coin fix. In the same way that I don't feel like Annie 9 was that bad, other than we didn't get a coin fix. That is, the coin fix has been, like, the glaring issue for 3 years. And we all know it, but I've just chosen not to judge individual events by it, right? Getting shit while progressing my account. Yeah. And that's, so if you're a veteran player, you're going to get a lot of that crap given to you just right off the bat. But if you're a newer player, you'll unlock that over time. And that's why I say, like, people don't even realize how easy it is to get started in FGO nowadays. There is so much more given to you than you ever got on, like, you know, if you're a day 1 player. Annie 9 was pretty bad, though. They cheered while getting greedier. I mean, did they? Did they really get greedier? Like, we can look at the append system. We can look at them adding 2 new appends. We can look at the fact that there was no coin fix. I'm isolating that there was no coin fix. And I'm telling you that Annie 9 was perfectly fine outside of that. Because I really do believe that. I don't think there's any actual problem with Annie 9. I just hated the Annie servant turned into summer editions instead. That's fine. Like, and I've said that before too. I'm not a huge fan of them doing that, but it doesn't mean I like hate Erish or anything like that. I'm already sitting on 7 or 8 bond grails. Oh yeah, I believe it. Like, I basically can't use my bond grails fast enough. That's my issue. And it's why, like, for the longest time, I've been of the opinion that if people are like, oh, I'm chewing through bond grails, I'm using them all the time, I'm like, listen, that just either can't be true, or basically you are just selling out to farm bond at the expense of the rest of your account. I have 8 bond grails too. Like, how do they get to bond 15 so fast? Well, we could talk about that, but I won't. About the Annie being a summer, I truly think they started that because summer is that unit's first real event. I mean, no, we've always had the Annie unit be a summer bonus unit, but usually the Annie unit is not a summer unit, if you catch the distinction there. Annie 9 is like a nice car with a giant steaming turd sitting on it. Yeah, and like I said, to me, it's just the coin fix is the issue. Like, everyone's upset that they gave us 2 new appends, and I'm like, I'm not. I don't think the appends are bad. I think they're great. I think the problem is it exacerbated an already existing issue. Like, we're all sitting here going like, how can they be this dumb? And even now in retrospect, they themselves are like, hey, we're sorry. We totally didn't mean to do that. So like, I'll be curious. I really want to see, like, do they actually talk about it during the summer stream? I'm going to end up asking Trubs if I'm not up for it. Why hate? Now you don't have to wait 2 years for a summer version. Just because I'd rather have an original version and a summer version so that we get more ascensions. They hated the lack of means for people to get more coins outside of whaling. Yep. And that's where, like, again, I think the terminology and how people are saying it is wrong. People are, like, programmed now because they've seen the way the rest of the community reacted to it to be like, Annie 9 bad, Madge. And the reality is Annie 9 wasn't bad. It was just, we didn't get a coin fix. That's the fucking problem. And it's been a problem. And we need to keep hounding the devs until they give us it. I know they want patience. Chat, our patience needs to be extremely short. And I'm dead serious on this. We need to not tolerate them fucking off. Like, they say give us a couple months. Well, okay, but you better be talking to us about it. You better be, like, you know, actually communicating, because otherwise, nah, you give me like a month, I'm going right back into this mode of like, where's my coin fix? Where are my coins? Give me my coins, Lasingle. Like, I'm gonna be like Brian out there, or no, sorry, I'm gonna be like Stewie out there with the golf club and the flamethrower, being like, give me my money, okay? Like, it's gonna be the same thing. Let me in, yes. They're gonna get strongly worded letters? Yeah. Sovereign, thank you for the follow. If only because I'm not in a rush to do something to get something perfected. Yeah, I've always viewed the game as more of a marathon, right? And to be fair, you guys see, look what my goals are in this game. It's me trying to like 120 a unit, right? So like me sitting here not just trying to 120 every unit, but me trying to 120 at least like the Artorias. And that's just naturally going to make things a little bit more rough in that regard. I definitely think that we have issues with that sort of thing, especially as we, like, you know, look towards the future. The game can't be, like, with some of these goals done very quickly. But not everyone's going to have as robust of goals as me. And especially when I look at this and I go like, okay, well, I'm a whale and I'm going to get 120. It's easy for me to say, but if you're a free-to-play and you're like, man, I would love to 120 any of my 5 stars, but I can't because I don't have the coins, it's just extremely frustrating for those people. And I get that. I totally understand that. I think a lot of people don't understand that. They made the coin situation worse by adding 2 new appends. I mean, I understand that line of thinking. I just don't believe that the appends are the problem, right? I know that sounds like it's me like refusing to agree on things. Please understand, the reason I'm saying it this way is because of what I've been telling you guys for years. Coins are a problem. The append system is genius. Grailing, also genius. And I'm going to give you guys, grailing to 120, right? I'm going to give you guys another example of this. Grail casting is great. It's a fantastic idea. Okay? What's the problem with grail casting, chat? Is it actually grail casting? Or is it rolling FP? It's the same damn problem, just with a different thing, right? Like, so it's not the system itself. It's what the system is like requiring you to do purely due to their design choice. That's the issue, right? That's the fundamental issue. At least we got time to plan ahead. Yeah. NA has the clairvoyance to be able to deal with this. Now, I say that, but watch them bring it to NA earlier than intended, right? So I don't know when that'll be. I'm not even going to try to guess because the devs do weird stuff with that. But yeah, it's all going to come down to coins, naturally. It's simply, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, I don't believe we're going to get any other fix other than the fix that we're getting here. I'll love to be proved wrong on that, but now I've kind of gone to the, hey, I don't trust that they're going to do it after we've gotten this, because it took so long just to even get this. And 2, I'm going to say that a lot of this just really boils down to the fact that we don't have I'm going to call it an infinite source of coins, but the reality is it doesn't have to be truly infinite, right? I'm saying we don't have a farmable source of coins. We don't have an attainable source of coins outside of the limitations of the bond system, which is a finite number, or spending money. That's the issue, right? So they'd have to give us another source for the coin situation to be fully fixed. They're the same thing for all intents and purposes? No, I disagree. And the chat, the reason I disagree is you don't have to partake in the append system. Like the worst like thing that we can say about the append system is you might need mana loading on certain units. That's straight up it. Otherwise the rest of it's all fluff. It's not like a unit skill, right? Where the skill is like, hey, yeah, you probably should like level and attend to those skills. I really do hope you're wrong on that, but yeah, it feels like this fix that they're settled on. I think it is. Like and like I said, I'd love to be wrong as well. But I can tell you how I would have done it, but I just don't see them doing it. They're never going to give us infinitely farmable coins. Yeah, I agree. I don't think they will. But we definitely, yeah, D-Bag has it right. We definitely need a renewable source, right? Something that's not like, yeah, you could never get any more for this without spending money. And I've said this before, like one of the easy ways to do it would be like put it in event shops, put it in the evocation festival system with leaves, so that like there is hey, there's always going to be more, but you can only ever get so many at any given one time, right? So like you can't just sit there and like finish all of your units overnight. You can't just pop apples and go to town. Really want to try to get Raiko or Saber Ibuki? Any opinions? I mean, Raiko's going to have the advantage down the line of having that upgrade. but at the same time spending them on, but at the same time them spending money the way they do also contributes to how the games run. Yeah, I agree with that. Look, blaming whales for a gacha game is the most stupid stuff ever. Because who do you think is paying for everything? Like, okay, free-to-plays, you want to blame the whales? Cool. Have fun. Game shuts down. Nobody runs the servers anymore because nobody's getting paid. You can't have it both ways, right? But I will agree. I do think there is, especially, and I'm going to say this is going to probably ruffle some feathers, but especially amongst the content creators, there are definitely people that we could probably point the finger at for like, hey, I know, let's all roll higher NP levels beyond NP5. I don't think that's a good, like example to set. I think that's just naturally going to be like basically setting the community on the wrong path. And I do think having that mentality of like, oh, NP6 isn't a problem is why we're in the situation that we're in. We should have seen this amount of outrage for the 4th and 5th append literally when the system came out. When it got revealed that we needed a 6th copy to get everything done. We should have never tolerated that. Period. End of story. Like that is 100% on us. And not just me as a content creator. That's on everybody. Literally all the players. It is on the entirety of the community that we did not get upset about that. And that we tolerated that. And that we assumed that this was the new norm. People are fine with it now and it's terrible? Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Doesn't matter what we do, they only listen to their JP side. I do agree with that to some extent, right? But I'm also going to say at the end of the day, it's making the money, and they're only going to be looking at that money. Like, they're only going to pay more attention to JP when JP's angry, but they're not even going to pay attention to JP to an extent, right? It's the truth of the matter. We see how little they actually do communicate with the players. So I really don't think that they actually do even pay much attention to them. Because, chat, I'm telling you this, I've been telling you this, it's not like people aren't giving them this feedback in the surveys. You know people are giving them that feedback. Nobody wants this situation. Everybody wants this changed. And yet, the devs didn't listen. So they're only paying attention to money. Never understood getting upset with whales, especially in a PvE game. They're literally the reason we got the game. Yeah, exactly. Like, the problem is not that people are spending money. The problem is that we are sort of incentivizing and embracing the change and the system that the devs put into place. We never should have embraced it to begin with, right? Most people thought that NP6 was achievable, but that's how liberties are taken from people little by little. Yeah, 100%. And that's why I said, like, I didn't like it to begin with. I pointed out that it was stupid to begin with. And the only time I ever even did it is when I was pressured, basically due to competition and other content creators all doing it. That's where I did it the one time and I said, I'm never doing it again. I'm not doing NP6. This is stupid. I'm not getting involved in this sort of dumbass rat race. I'm not going to continue to just, oh, let's all one-up each other. Nobody wins in that situation other than Lasengle. They're the only people that win because they're just making bank off of everybody's stupidity. Problem is when they announced the coin system, they said there would be more ways to get coins. Yeah. And I do agree with that. Like, that is where, my hopium over the past, 3 years came from. Like, when I was going, oh, chat, I believe them, they're gonna fix it. Yeah, no, straight up. Like, I don't believe them anymore. And I don't believe them because they've proven me wrong time and time again. Like, we literally had the coin system come out. We literally went a year. We got nothing. 2 years in, we got the Famitsu article. Well, was it 2? Yeah, I think it was 2 years in. We got the Famitsu article. Because basically, it's like year 6, we had it. Year 7, there was nothing. Then we got Famitsu. In Famitsu, they mentioned at year 7 that they were aware of the problem Then we got to year 8, still no fix. Famitsu didn't mention it. And here we are in year 9, Famitsu didn't mention it, and the devs added +2 appends. Yeah, there's a clear sign there. They 100% were trying to get away with as much as they could over the past 3 years. They were trying to find the limit for where the community had its boundaries. And they finally found it. Finally, the community woke the fuck up. I never saw much point to go above MP5. I don't care about the other pens. Why should I? Yeah, I mean, and I've tried to tell you guys that for years, right? Like, usually at minimum for one of the, like for whatever the unit is, one of the appends is probably worth less. Straight up. So you don't have to have it. It's not a big deal, right? But people pursue perfection. They want that completion. They want to finish their units. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just pointing out that inability to check that, hey, I must have perfection at the door is ridiculous. Because, all right, chat, let me point out another thing to you guys here. Look at the rate of faux pas prints. You require them to have a perfected unit. A truly perfected unit. And yet, at the time that we get this campaign right here, you can literally, I think, only have faux pod 3 entire units. And that's assuming that you did buy from the rare prism shop. Okay? So, you only have 3 perfect units in the entire game at that point. Like, to me, pursuing the perfection, it's a noble goal, but if we can't realize that we're being milked at that moment, that the system is predatory, and we go straight into that and encourage others to do so too, we deserve everything that we get. Like, we fell for that. We are already victims in this sense that we are playing a gacha game and we are getting milked anyways to begin with. But there has to be a point where you go, this is a bad deal. This is not working for me. Yeah, I get my enjoyment out of this game, but now this game is trying to take as much as it possibly can from me. That's where you have to go, hold on. I'm not doing that. It's a willpower issue, chat. You have to have some. And some people don't. I hate to say it. Some people do have gambling issues. Who showed up while rolling for other units? Yeah. FGO Gacha has been a bad deal since day one, isn't it? Pretty much, Dur. Also, how you doing? Yeah, like the Gacha system has never been great. And we've always accepted it for what it was because the rest of the game was seemingly generous and you didn't have to have every unit. That being said, we can look at the mentality for how like players roll in FGO and just examining that in a little bit of a microcosm, right? Like, oh, behold. People don't believe in saving in this game. People believe in YOLOing and people believe in trying to get their hands on every single unit. If that's not a bad sign, I don't know what is. Without rare prisms, it's like 2.5 units, if I remember correctly, until that point. Yeah, I believe so. I want my 4th 2K unit, to be honest. Yeah, gold foes are not very fast either, right? So, like, there's definitely a limitation. For instance, chat, is this my NA? I think it's my NA. So, you are here. I have 120 this, and this. And now I'm working on this. Chat, guess what? Want to know how many units I've gold foed? This, and I'm now working on this. My 120 grails have already caught up to the same unit that I'm currently gold foeing. Which is kind of funny, honestly. Because 120ing is a much newer system. I think I have 4 gold foe units. Yeah. I have literally 6 and I'm working on my 7th. My 7th is almost done. So like, yeah, there you go. She's at 1820 right now. And I do have the occasional cheeky like gold faux purchase from the Rare Prism shop. I don't buy them very frequently though. You have 6 2K servants with a 7th just above the halfway mark. Yeah, I believe that. And so in retrospect, right, there you go. You can see I'm not just above the halfway mark. I'm about 3/4, a little bit more. So you can see I haven't bought very many, but I have bought some. Good night, Arch. Foreigner is my 7th I'm working on right now. Hoku Foreigner. Yep. And I think this is just the reality of like, this is how the game is. This is just the situation that we run into because the game systems are meant to drag it out and take time. I'm okay with that. I think whenever you go into a live service game, whenever you go into a gacha game, you got to understand it's going to be a marathon. It's meant to take time. It's meant to give you stuff to do over time. Those are not my issues. My issue is when the system isn't being fair to the players. When the system is trying to take more from the players than it is giving. And that's what I see with the coin system at the moment. I'd have done 6 if NA wasn't stupid with gold foes when they came out. Yeah, I mean, NA was as stupid as JP in theory, but my first 2 2K foe units are 4 stars, Umu and Luvia. That's perfectly fine. I don't care about 120 or most depends. This is a single player game. I want MP1 waifus and that's it. What I want is merch of my waifus. Understandable. Well, and this is, in all seriousness, this is the big W, okay? If anything comes out of their coin fix, the big W is that now you can 120 and still get an append, get a single append for every unit in the game. Before now, chat? Oh, hell no, that was not possible. Hell no, not at least without additional MP levels. But now there's enough coins in the bonding system that this can be done. So I do like that. I do think that's nice. Where I am going to probably end up tearing them a new one is, how does the scaling from 7 to 15 work? If it's like, oh man, the lion's share of the coins are in like 13, 14, and 15, I'm going to have words for them. I'm going to have so many words for them. It's okay to be happy now, I think. How dare you be happy? No, that's perfectly fine. No shot they do a coin slips if they ever do an FGO2, right? Right? Sure. I think the bigger question isn't whether or not they do a coin system, it's whether or not they do an FGO2. $230 coins just for Bond 13. Yeah, or 15. Yeah, I really hope they don't do something like that, right? Just feels like I'm completing the game for the best equipment, but can't make use of it like in old JRPGs. Yeah, it's like, okay, chat, you've played the entirety of your 100-hour JRPG. You are on hour 99. You are standing at the door to the final boss, and you pick up the best weapon in the game. That's what it feels like. It's like, man, I would have liked to have gotten this, I don't know, like even back at like level 90. I would have liked to have been able to like enjoy this some rather than like I just have it for the final boss. And I can give you guys a classic example of this where it actually did happen. The Fierce Deity Mask in Majora's Mask. You basically get this for the final fight. And it's epic. It's badass. It's awesome. Unfortunately, you don't get to use it for the entirety of the game, right? Like, it would have been so much cooler if you did. Excalibur in Final Fantasy IX, yep. How many times You have to learn FGO2 already exists. It existed for a while. It's called Arcade. Arcade wishes it was FGO2. As a free-to-play player, I would love to take Space Ishtar to 120, but after saving hard and using 1,300 Saint Quartz only to get one copy, it's incredibly demotivating. Yeah. And, like, look, I'm going to say this. Again, that is the big win with this new system, is that at least if you guys want to, you can take your favorite unit to 120. You don't have to roll. I think that's the way the system should have been to begin with. I think when we have a system that allows us to further our favorite units, but we can't partake in the system purely because we don't spend money, it's a bad system. Period. End of story. And we're not talking a system that is directly derivative of money. Like, for instance, USOs. USOs are a bad system, but they're a bad system for many other reasons, right? But, like, the thing I'm trying to say here is that it's not about the, how do I put this? It's not about the fact that it is a monetary deal to begin with. It's a gacha game. We know there's going to be money involved. It's about how the money is involved that makes the system bad. Same thing with USOs, right? So obviously you're going to have to have rolled to get the unit. But the fact that even getting the unit is not enough to partake in the system to enhance the unit is an issue. So I'm glad that they did readjust that. That is the one thing that I do like about this change. I don't know. I wish it weren't like a bond only thing. So who knows? Maybe in the future they hear that feedback and they do it. I'm gonna be real with y'all, chat. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I think what this what this coin fix might do for us long term is it might actually get people to stop rolling NP6. It might actually change the community's perception. And if people do stop doing that nearly as much, you might see the higher ups, the people that only care about the money, go, all right, we need a new source of money. This isn't working. And they move on to a different system or a different scheme for monetization. And that might allow coins to become freer. That might allow the devs to finally go, you know what, you can get coins from this and that, and you know, now you don't have to bond them all the way up. So they might be more willing to listen to community ideas at that point. But I hope that's how they do it, right? Skins, please God, skins. I mean, I'm gonna say this. We should definitely not be like praying for them to be like, oh Lord, give me the skins. I need the skins. And like, you know, basically, please, you know, let me spend money on your game. But I do think that skins are at least a fair, more opt-in way of monetizing a game. I think that way, when my waifu gets a skin, I go, hell yeah. And I basically give them the thumbs up and I buy that skin. But when it's a character that I maybe don't care about, I don't. And then I don't have to spend on it. And that way it's a very much, I get to choose who I want. Some people will have like no like willpower to hold back. And they'll be like, damn, you know, I didn't like that unit before, but that skin, oh my God, I need that skin. And you'll see people that'll become skin hounds. But like, I don't know. I still think, especially if the skins are fair priced, that it's a lot better of a system than, you know, shit, hey, roll NP6 to get some shitty little currency that allows you to unlock one extra thing on your character that's not even going to come into play the majority of the time. Cosmetics, not game features? Yep. Do you wonder why they're delaying 30 million so long? Yes, obviously. We have now surpassed it. The 30 million download campaign is the longest wait for any singular download campaign in the history of FGO. According to Mr. 2, it is a we'll hit it when we hit it. I assume they've already hit it and that they're delaying it till after, anniversary in summer. But I don't know. Maybe Mr. Two's telling the truth. Maybe we haven't hit it, which ain't a good sign. That's all I'm going to say. If it's the longest ever wait for a download campaign, and in that time, we have had 2 collab events, one of which was a other Type Moon entity that had not been collabed with before. And we also had Anniversary during that time, which normally gets people to come in. And now we'll have also had Summer on top of that. And we still don't have the download campaign? Holy shit. That is not a good sign if that's the case. Like, you would think that the collabs and Anniversary alone would be enough. But I don't know. Maybe people just stop downloading. I mean, you will hit a point of like saturation, but I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think the game's overarching issue is its external reputation. I think that's what's not naturally going to stop people from trying out the game. Like, and I didn't see it, but someone told me that Fob streamed FGO the other day. I have no idea what his impressions of it were. I'm going to assume they probably weren't good. But no, skins should be free. I'll be broke if they do that. Make MV10 if lasagna wants, but not skins. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying, like, oh, dear God, I hope they start monetizing skins. I'm just saying if they really had to come up with a new, like, revenue source, skins are probably the best way to do it. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think they need to, and I'm A-okay with them having free skins. And I'm going to say this, they can certainly still offer free skins on top of a paid skin. But I'm going to say also, if they're going to do a paid skin, I damn well better be getting new artwork, and it better be friggin' live 2D if I'm paying for it. It better be justified. Bob was already an FGO gamer? Oh, really? Interesting. I had no idea. Yeah, Fob I know is normally like, is he Genshin? I think Genshin's where, like, I really first learned of him. I don't know. I assume he plays, like, all the MiHoYo products, though, because that's kind of what a lot of them do. We still don't have Live 2D and FGO. And, chat, I've said it once. I will say it again. Let me pull this up. Let me really hammer this point home, okay? Let me really hammer this point home for you. Y'all know what I'm going to go get. You know. Okay? Let me get rid of the sound there because I don't need to be copyright. You know, if we started having this shit would be trending everywhere. People would be like, oh my God. Oh my. Oh, I need that. Like, straight up. Okay? It would be absolutely glorious. Yes, we would have people straight up changing their mind on this. Okay? I would pay for that. Yeah, I think people would, right? Like, they know. Let me see if I have some of the others. Yeah, my own personal favorite. Looks like this is a playlist with a lot of them, too. Like, chat, the fact that someone's out there doing this for free Someone is out there animating this shit for free. And Lasingle is not doing this for us. Wild. Actually wild. The fact that we can't get this, nutty. Straight up nutty. Is there a Tammy? I mean, there probably is. I've seen a Tammy before. Oh, look, chat. Chat wouldn't want this one. So, like I said, like, it's actually kind of wild when you think about it. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't want it because it would kill me. Yeah. Like, you can't tell me that, like, that wouldn't help the game trend. That wouldn't get new eyes on the game. And I think, and this is what I've said before, like, one of the best things y'all can do is whenever we get a new player, be kind to them, be helpful, and don't shit on the game in front of them. Seriously, like, it does nobody any good. You're just going to leave a, like, bad sense of the community or of the game itself in that new player's mind. You're going to basically make them think less of it, and you may be shortening the amount of time they spend with the game. Rather than being like, oh, yo, a new player! Oh my god, I'm so happy you're here. Let me tell you why I love this game. I don't see that very often, sadly. My friend became a new player. I just link your videos to them, Lamau. Honestly, that works. At least, like, again, I'm sure people will be like, oh, Cad's ranting, Cad's, like, getting upset on stream and stuff, but the majority of the time, I'm just trying to have a good, constructive conversation with you guys. I can't, you know, stream this game without having some critiques and criticisms over 6+ years now of me doing this. But, yeah, like, in my videos, I'm always trying to be as positive as possible. I'm always trying to, like, really, like, sell you the unit to an extent, even the units that are not, like, the most meta best units. I'm going to try to tell you here's where their issues are, but also here's how you can use them effectively and how you can combat those issues. That way you understand. And same thing with the mechanics. I want you to understand the mechanics so that you're a smarter player. You can decide things for yourself. And I mean, I guess that way you don't need me as often, but at the same time, it just makes you basically better and more informed. And when you get better and more informed, you're more able to articulate how you feel about the game, but also at the same time, you're more able to enjoy it because you now know more about it. You know why things are happening the way that they are, rather than just getting frustrated because you don't understand it. I've seen so many people call FGO's gameplay dated, and usually I laugh at those people because most of those people are people that, like, yeah, man, they didn't get out of Fuyuki. They basically, like, struggled and they couldn't actually, like, grasp the concepts at play. They really didn't like the challenge content style of the game and that sort of stuff. I did an FGO presentation on a free theme class. Nice. The more we love, the more we want them to improve. That's 100% where I'm at, right? Like, and I know that. That's where it's like, this game means a lot to me on so many levels. I would not still be here if not for it. I would not, I certainly wouldn't enjoy any of the success that I do with streaming if not for it, or any of the success on the YouTube side if not for it. I am always going to be appreciative of that, no matter what. I don't think, like, anything the devs do will take that away. But yeah, I have times where I get, like, upset with the devs or I get, like, disappointed in them. I think that's just a natural sort of reaction as not even a content creator, but a player. Okay. But I've tried to say this to you guys before, however strongly you guys feel about the game, understand that I feel that too, but understand that I also have the content creation side on top of that. So, like, where I get frustrated especially is on, like, yeah, hey, you know, we don't interact with our content creators. Hey, we go months of dead time. Hey, we don't really give you guys anything to talk about or chat about because we have gotten so, like, you know, closed close to vest and like closed off from the community, that we don't want to talk with anyone, we don't want to give any information ahead of time, we don't want to tip our hand, and we don't want to really like allow the community to begin to like theory craft and do all this stuff. And I think that's an issue. I think that's something that they really do need to improve about, but that's been an issue from day one. So what does Aurelia yeet herself? Could just make her dizzy? Sure, you want to animate that for me? Any 3D modelers? Any Blender bros in chat? Productive criticism is better than just mindlessly shitting on the game. Yeah, I agree. And that's why I've said, like, if we're going to complain, let's at least try to say, hey, here's why, here's how I think they can fix it, right? Like, again, I've told you guys how I would fix the servant coins. I've said this is what I think they should be doing. I've also said I don't think they're going to do it, but that's just because it's been 3 years. It's been like pulling teeth to get anything out of them on this front, and it basically took the entire community blowing up on them to actually get any sort of change. That's not a good sign. That's them not listening to their players, right? So, obviously, I hope they do that better. I hope they start reading the surveys more. I hope they start listening to feedback. But it really does make me wonder, is it not that they're not listening? Is it that their hands are tied? And that's what's depressing, right? Blender Bro, here I'm good. Oh, come on, Blender Bro. You can do it. I believe in you. I made a complaint like that once and it was well received by the Discord. Wait, like what? Every newbie I met in your Discord went through the game, I think. Wait, what do you mean? Clairvoyance or pain of the 2-year wait for content for NA. How do you balance this? I mean, I play both servers, so that's how I'm balanced. But like, if I didn't play JP, how would I manage to like? I gotta be honest. I feel really bad for the NA community. I feel really bad because I don't like how the JP English-speaking side of the community operates. I do believe that they just don't give a shit about spoiling other people. They're always full of themselves, and they always think that everybody should be playing their version of the game. And it's not a good attitude to have, and I think it's caused so much harm over the years. I think it's actually pushed people away from the game. The devs are lazy. I don't think they're necessarily lazy, Kimba. I just don't think they have the bodies. Could you imagine the jiggle physics on your screen right now with motion? Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you're saying if all of these were live 2D, right? I mean, chat, this is why we have Aurelia. Aurelia is jiggle physics. It's actually a little bit choppy. It looks like the frame rate's dipped because I've left the program open overnight. But it is what it is. Now we are the superior server. Listen, it is what it is, JP bros. But like, y'all ruin it for NA sometimes. And I'm dead serious. Like, I'm not someone for like the two servers should be at war and should be fighting each other. But the JP community is absolutely complicit in just spoiling the shit out of the NA community. And they've got to get better on that. They've got to, like, you know, actually call people out for doing it. Like, one of the ridiculous things that I see all the time is like stuff upvoted or stuff like retweeted and liked and everything on Twitter. And I'm like, when it's a blatant spoiler, like, chat, I straight up saw someone the other day on Twitter that said like, hey, this new thing that just came out 2 hours ago for some other random like manga, spoiler alert, and they just like went straight into it and went ham. Now, obviously, if you don't want the spoilers, you're not going to read that, right? But sometimes you just can't get away from it without seeing it. And my better question to these people is, who the fuck asked? No one asked. Why are you immediately going to Twitter and spoiling shit? I don't understand that. No one asked. No one was like, yo, bro, can you spoil this for me? No, no one said that. And like, don't get me wrong. I understand the desire to talk about things where you're like, oh man, I just read this. I want to talk with someone. That's cool. That's fine. I don't have issue with that. I just think people can be better about how they do it. They can find their spaces to actually discuss it, not out in the open in front of everybody, shoving it in everyone's face. Right? It's like sitting there in the line for the Harry Potter movie, and you're like, you've got people in the line, and you're coming out of just seeing it, and you're just shouting Dumbledore dies over and over and over again. Like, I don't know, man. Like, what the fuck do you expect? People aren't gonna like that. It's literally everything that's popular. I get spoiled on Deadpool cameos on Twitter day one of its release, for example. Oh yeah, I haven't seen the Deadpool movie. I really want to see it, but like Twitter makes me absolutely not want to because they've already spoiled like half the movie for me. JJK Twitter deserves a new circle of hell. Yeah. Someone did do that. I know. As a 2-week new player, I only have Summer Scotty, Waver, Saber, Artoria. Are there any recommendations on upcoming NA units that I should prioritize? There's definitely going to be some really good like banners at the end of the year because we're going to end up having like Oberon, Castoria, and Koyanskaya all come back. And those are some of the big ones you really want to have, right? Outside of that, you will be getting some like good units like Kukulkan coming up next year, Tiamat into the future, Draco, like, and even Castoria Berserker at next summer. So like, yeah, there's quite a laundry list of units you would like to roll probably, especially as a newer player, but I'm going to say try to focus a little bit more on those support units like Castoria, maybe even like an Oberon or a Koyanskaya. And then from there, start glancing at, yeah, like maybe trying to get like one of either Draco or Castoria Berserker and one of either Kukulkan or Tiamat, but don't try to get like every single one. You're just going to have a hard time unless you're spending money. I saw it today. It was an awesome movie. No spoilers. Right. And that's great. I've heard great things about it. Did you know Star Wars has lightsabers? How dare you? How dare you? Star Wars has lightsaber whips now. Haven't you guys seen the Acolyte? God, it's so bad. Sin no Riku is my next target. Sin's definitely going to be pretty good. And honestly, Sin might be a decent fit for our new player that was just asking due to the fact that she is an AoE Berserker and you do already have Summer Scotty. So that can definitely be a good one. Who would you prioritize between Koyanskaya or Oberon? If you're newer, Oberon. And the reason why is because Oberon works with all card types. He does benefit Buster a little bit more, but he's a 70% charger, and he's the only unit in the game that does that. So, yeah, I still gotta say, like, my priority is Oberon in that sense. Blue Man, thank you for the 37, and Snooze, I did see it earlier, but I'm sorry if I didn't say it. Thank you for the 14. You can't max him though, right? Sorry, for what? For Oberon? What do you mean you can't max? Sea Berserker's my last target this year. Yeah. There's a new Alien movie. Yeah, Romulus, I think. Spoiling your own video in the thumbnail? I don't know why people do that. Isn't Oberon's final ascension locked behind story completion? Yes, his final. Remember, you only got to get him through the third ascension, though, in order to unlock all of his stuff. So, and okay, so let's be clear. You can level him all the way up to 90. You cannot get the fourth ascension, basically. or the third ascension. So like, what does that mean? You're just not getting the artwork. That's all. Like you'll get that when you do the quest to unlock it, but you can still level them up to 90 before that. They did the same thing with Charlie as well. So you can still max, you're just not going to have it until you complete story. Like the artwork for it. There are a couple of units with spoiler ascensions actually. Senna's one too. Is Sen one? Maybe. No bond lines or artwork as spoilers. And Doman. Yeah, Doman's definitely one. What's your opinion on limiting ascensions to story completion? I'm perfectly okay with it. How would you buff Lartoria in a way that she's relevant in gameplay, but not just another copy of Melisande? I mean, first of all, let's get this right. If anything, Melisande would be a copy of Lartoria, right? Because she's older. How I would absolutely buff her is, one, I would give her the very much needed NP interlude. Two, in that interlude, I would probably do something either to give her overcharge or additional charge. One of those two things, because both will lead to it. And three, if that's still not enough to make her competitive, what I probably, because that should allow her to Black Grail loop. If that's still not enough to make her competitive, at that point, I start looking at the damage numbers and I basically go like, okay, do we need like an additional defense down? Do we need an additional niche? I don't know, right? Like, but that's how I would approach that situation. I would start with, let's give it the NP interlude. From there, let's make sure it can Black Grail loop, because I don't need to spend too long on this, chat, but she absolutely should be capable of Black Grail looping. She has more than enough charge in her kit. The only reason she can't is because of the concept of block 50. So, like, in that regard, yeah, like, I would make sure that she can touch Black Grail. Those two things alone, the NP interlude and Black Grail, they'll give her a big damage jump up. So at that point, I think the only thing that I look towards is it enough, and where does she land with respect to all other units? And I'm going to say this. She should do more than Melisande. Should, but it is what it is. Kimba, thank you for the gift sub. Appreciate it. And Real Babon Sith, thank you for the follow. Do we get Destiny for next New Year's on an A? Can't see why not, but did JP get it? JP got it for their anniversary here. So we have now had Destiny summoned twice on JP. And it has only been at the Annies. So will we get it for New Year's? No, probably not. Wait, was it only... Did we get it for New Year's? Hold on. Let me double check. No, New Year. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yep, summon and GSSR. Yep, so we didn't get it. But yeah, so there's been two. I think you guys can expect Destiny Summon is a permanent addition, but only at anniversary. So that's, I think, why NA got it a year early, is because we're going to start getting it every year now. Seems I'm saving for August. Summer. This emote? Yeah, we're coming up on October, right? So it's going to be perfect for that. All right, chat. We were supposed to do media share night, but chat had me on some really good discussions, and I did kind of want to do it. I'm sorry for that. If we have time later in the week, I may do an impromptu media share, or I'll punt it till next week. Don't worry, we'll get our media share. But let me see who all's on and who all I can give some love to. Oh, okay. Why not? I'm gonna send you guys over to Silverfair. She is having a 12-hour marathon birthday partner anniversary stream. So it's a big night for her. Let's go give her some love. I'll be back tomorrow. Obviously, we'll be talking about the new JP summer units, and I may be rolling. It just depends. So I will see you guys tomorrow one way or the other. But again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for all the support. You guys know the drill. And I will see you guys for the next one. So go give Silvervale my love and have a good one.